coming in soon.
Okay.
Do you know how to do all the commands in the community to like let people know we're live?
You could be in the ground survivor.
I think it's like
Yes, I
stream.
do. But you have to do it from the PWG channel, otherwise it says that I'm live.
I think that's it.
But I'll tell you the
Okay.
commands.
So we're live.
Oh wow.
Well, I don't want to go so far as that because we still can't actually run the game through PC.
Well, which game is that? Raiders of Acres.
We know what the tools are that we need to use.
It's a free-to-play game.
Which is getting there.
Whoa!
I think this
why is it
SX
that we haven't been able to create
It's got dragons and stuff.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is we can't create a window when we run through the debugger.
Right.
And the reason we can't create a window is because it crashes.
So we're playing on the new balance patch, aren't we?
Native code.
We are.
Because these FX.
And that means we were testing out mines last night.
Oh
and they
yeah,
are
the new mine codes.
absolutely brutal.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Because unless you have something that can tank the mines, you're guaranteed to get your money's worth.
All that said,
One squirrel will die to one mine.
Is your mic picking up any of the background conversation at all?
I don't think so.
No.
I
Okay.
can hear a little bit from your mic, but
That's enough information. I can email
What about yourself? You can't hear yourself?
Thanks for the help.
nope, can't hear myself.
Through the mono debug.
So I just sent you a link. If you
And
copy that link or copy that text, stream on, and post that in
I
community.
wonder if I should put the hoodie on.
Do it.
Oh, I don't.
Go to the dark side.
Did I bring it?
let's do that.
Oh, I totally killed it.
Got it?
Well, I hit it midair.
No, that's not what
You sure? If I smack it midair,
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like the forces.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. All right.
It wasn't just like a smooth, like when you hit someone in Dark Souls, like kunk. It's probably on the ground somewhere.
Okay, so let's do that. We want to make sure because there was two tasks, so let's at least accomplish the one that seems to be the most clear. With regards to actually fixing that crash, it looks to me like
Hacker hoodie.
we just need to go back and get this right.
I'm all about the hacker hoodie. Okay, so
Especially
where are we at? What are we doing?
So that we might be just co-casting, both of us. We'll see if ST gets it.
Uh-oh.
But in time. It looks like
Different build numbers.
So let's just
Uh-oh.
Did everyone? I got a different build number.
I think all of us are in here and we're all on the same thing, so you must be on a different.
Okay,
build number.
I will verify one last time.
Okay.
I don't think it's a memory leak though, because I was looking at the activity monitor.
Now we'll remake it or something.
See if memory
Oh,
leak-
derp. I'm on another branch.
Nice.
I should
Pro
probably
status.
Verify that again, but my gut
So Chu is the reigning crown, huh?
says that it's not.
He is.
With
I
AV
heard
Ultima,
I believe
who
he
has
beat
the-
Dead Bones.
The trophy.
Yeah. Should get a real trophy and pass it around. Just mail it back and forth.
Mail
Just
it
like
around.
Those plastic crowns. Would be perfect. All right, so our first game is up and ready. I don't know if you want to talk about what we're doing today a little bit.
Yeah, this is a tournament that you coordinated. Well, before we start, let's wait till 2 because that's when people roll in.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah, because it was 2 o'clock is when we roll in. So this is just like the setup,
Dope.
and we'll just. Oh, and I also want to double check audio and video. So I think I have to go, or if yeah, if you could just double check audio, video, make sure everything's looking good. There is a secret, well, it's not so secret, Andy tweeted a lot about it, but there's new juiciness going into the game next patch. I'm super excited for it because like it's going to bring the quality of the visuals up even more.
Even more?
Even more. We already
Kinda
tweeted about
juicy.
it. But
I haven't been. Gotta check that tweet then.
it's even something that like I noticed that older games don't have, like Age of Empires and whatever. You know, like games like that, they don't have this tech. So super exciting.
We're gonna find it.
There's another thing that so if you guys want to like hear some techno babble, there's a particle system in the game, and a particle is described as like a graphical element that is ejected at a velocity in a direction from a source. Sort of like shooting a bullet is a particle, right? Or throwing a ball. So the ferret shots, the bullets in the game, those things are particles, and even blood splatter and all that stuff. So one of the limitations of the particle system was the particles themselves could not emit particles. And I may be wrong here, but I threw out an idea that excites me that isn't in the game yet, but I believe with the update to the particle system might actually be technically possible.
Yep.
I don't know how much I want to talk about it. Because if particles can emit particles, you can do things like the rain itself is also a particle.
Yep.
If it hits the water, it can create a particle so that the water responds to the raindrop. Or you could have the ferret shot hit something that creates a particle that then hits the water that creates another particle, splash particle, and so forth.
And the system can handle that much?
Yeah. It's 2D.
That's going to be super cool. Also, I just checked Twitter, and it is indeed really cool. I'm not going to say it here, 'cause it's a surprise.
Oh yeah, you saw the
guys feel like-
the other thing that he implemented? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so cool. So
Yep,
definitely
so-
check out Twitter, guys, if you want to see something really cool.
You definitely don't need an amazing computer. Oh, audio's great. Good. How does Captain Fog sound?
Loud enough?
Oh, I'm asking Andy. Yeah, I'm asking Andy how Captain Fog sounds on the stream.
Oh, right. Gotcha. Best Tea's coming too.
All is good.
All is well. That's fantastic.
Hooray! So we are going to have Best Tea.
Maybe 5% low, but it's
Oh,
just about right.
you are like slightly low by about
Slightly low?
5%.
Okay.
Captain Fog.
You
So
know
if you
that.
can increase the volume on your side, or maybe I can look on Discord
Yeah.
and see if
If
I can
you-
do something.
If you right-click my name, you can make me louder through your computer.
Oh, there you go. So I'll make you 105%.
105!
How about 110?
Hello, Best Tea. Best Tea's here now.
Hello.
Whoa, we got guests.
It's Best Tea. Best Tea is here
Best
to
to
help
make it.
cast.
Okay.
I need. Hold on. There we go. I muted the stream.
Nice.
There we go. Hello.
How's it going, Bestie?
Doing good. Loading up the game for myself right now. There we go.
Yep. No problem.
And crossing thing. Hopefully this game doesn't lag out on me like last time.
Well, if it does, just just say you're having problems, and either Andy can jump back in, or I can take over, or whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, I'm mostly
Alright,
gonna
man.
be responsible for the camera.
Okay.
All right. I'll just watch and offer whatever happens.
Okay.
Well, it's
So I'm
actually
gonna-
really hard. It's hard to do like deep commentary while moving a camera and staying in frame. So I don't
Yeah.
mind just controlling the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well-
Just let us know where the camera is on stream in terms of like what match you're in, like in between games. If you're like, all right, ready to start the next match, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Just so we can be like,
Yeah, I'll-
otherwise we'll be there.
And if you call stuff out, I'll try to find it. Like if
Okay.
there's like you say there's like something sneaky in the north,
Should I send it to snack?
Right.
I'll try to find it.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a brand new unit coming out from the north end of the map. Oh. All right. Let me make sure everything's okay here on this side. All right, cool.
Let me poke.
So we're just gonna wait for official 5 o'clock to start.
Yep.
Yeah, we're just because some people roll in around that time and just making sure everything is gonna be okay. No drop frames. That's great.
Okay. So we're gonna have. Do you have the brackets up at all, Andy?
Oh yeah, let me do that. It's a faction frenzy.
Yes, I will link to you. I'll link it to you again. There you go.
Challenge. With XSplit merging with challenge, we might be actually integrated with the application soon.
Yeah, I haven't tested any of that yet, or I guess it's not out yet. But I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. If they're gonna just have like a import challenge brackets button or something.
I've only ever used this program. I use scoreboard editor, and it's made by these guys called 8-Way Run.
Mm-hmm.
They basically made a really interesting plugin for OBS and connected to Twitch, Twitter, challenge, all sorts of different things. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to check that out. Can you link me at some point in the future?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you link me to that at some point in the future?
Yeah, I think it's like donate to get. So like you can donate whatever
Oh.
amount you want to the guy.
Right.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Wow, this has more plugins than when I last checked.
Which one?
XSplit plugins. 'Cause
Oh,
Strawberry uses. Oh, here is this it? Oh, Twitch chat viewer. Strawberry uses a really cool Twitch chat plugin. He sources it. Twitch RC chat viewer or Twitch chat viewer via HTML5. Which one do I use?
I linked it to you in the chat, Captain,
Okay, thanks.
just so you can look at it.
Sweet.
I wonder if I should use. Oh, fuck it. Twitch IRC chat viewer has been added to your source in my plugins.
Oh, cool. Have you connected the stream to the channel? The Discord channel?
Oh, you want to stream the Discord?
No. I mean,
have
you can connect it. You can connect Twitch. You can connect Twitch chat to a Discord channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like one of the channels becomes the official Twitch chat.
In Discord?
Yeah, I believe so. That's
yeah,
how
so
it
it
works.
shows little purple icon next to your name when you're streaming live.
Oh, I mean, I have this where it says live on Twitch.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that I could make a channel in here that is Twitch chat.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Is that like you add a channel here?
I think so. I'd have to look up how that works. Let's see.
That's really interesting. That must mean Discord is IRC based.
I believe so. I have a friend who actually knows the developers pretty darn well. He actually made Discord.py, the Python script for bots and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Discord. Yeah, Twitch integration feature.
Okay, well, we're 2 o'clock, so I think we're good to go. Good to go live.
Alrighty.
All right, welcome guys to Faction Frenzy. This first 2v2 tournament starring some of your favorite players here. And it's going to be fun, I think.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this. I've seen 2v2s in the past, but I think we gave people a little bit more time this time to prepare. So having their strategies down, I mean, people are going to be in their different channels talking to each other. Instead of just kind of like, oh, let's jump into a 2v2 and have some fun. There's going to be like solid communication between these teams, which I'm really excited for. I know we've got an absurd team. Lev and Deadbones is going to be competing in the second round, and that's going to be a team to watch. I think they have a great chance of just sweeping the whole thing.
It's scary how fast Love got good at this game. We literally got the game at the same time, and he just all of a sudden became one of the best players at the moment. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Do people generally agree that Lev is better than the top 3?
He hasn't played in a big tournament with them, but he's done. He had the Strawberry Cup that happened earlier this week. He went to Game 5 against Deadbones, and those were some pretty damn close matches.
Yeah.
Like literally, Deadbones had to exploit cannons on the map in order to win.
And even that was like, barely. Lev had an absolutely fantastic map and made a couple of missteps that cost him the game, I think. But again, grand finals of a tournament, nerves are going all crazy.
Yeah.
Well, first up though, we're gonna have Hoxio and Hunter versus Sidro in Sanitarium and Master Stealth. I don't know how good Master Stealth is at this game. I know he's good at memes, but
Is
how
Master
is he?
Stealth Chewbacca?
No, Chewbacca is Hunter.
Hunter. Oh, okay.
I think Master Stealth might have ducked out by accident.
Well,
But I've seen definitely in at least in the last large tournament, in the Clash of Comrades tournament, Master Stealth likes to experiment with things that are not exactly on. My brain just went blank.
does he just go like all tier 3s or something?
He doesn't quite do that, but he was using mines at a time when a lot of players weren't using mines. I
Oh.
saw him kind of go for a contain with mines, but also do it correctly, where he had things to back them up. Mine just got buffed, but back when they weren't so good. So he likes to do things that aren't conventional. They don't always pay off for him, but we'll see if this 2v2s are very new, so there's not necessarily not a precedent for anything. So
Given that
Let's quit making you room.
given that 2v2 has twice as much threat for the early game attack, how do you think players will consider how fast they acquire farms compared to a 1v1?
It's gonna depend on what kind of build they want to go for. I do think that 2v2 tends to be more open to rush type strategies due to the fact that you have basically twice the amount of farm on each side, essentially. So, and because you have 2v2, there's a lot less open expansions available to take over. So it becomes a very low econ game at times, I believe.
right, I'm just excited to see whether some team is going to pull out the dual mole rush like you did in a couple games that I've seen, Andy.
Yeah, the first 2v2 match I saw of this game was where Deadbones unfortunately and his partner unfortunately got crushed by moles in the second game or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go into unit selection of the very first game of Faction Frenzy. We're gonna do best of 3s for all of these matches. So we're gonna have a little bit of time for players to try and figure out different strategies. We're seeing Chewbacca go for Snake Lizard right off the bat. Also going for mines. I know we were testing that last night, and mines are absolutely brutal.
It's interesting how he's only going units-wise. He's really only committing to lizards and snakes. So he's definitely going to go for either a huge rush or he wants to try to camp out wherever Master Stealth and Sanitarium decide to build up here.
Yeah, I think one of the strategies I've seen a couple players do is one player will take all the lower tier units and kind of take over at the beginning of the game, while the other player ecos up and gets those tier 3 units out and carries things over.
Although Hoxio, he's not really going for tier 2s. He has the lizards and the toads and going straight for T3 wolf, but I feel like they may be in danger of Hawks if they're not really careful. Well, in any case, looks like the game's going to begin.
So here we go. In the south, we have Massive Stealth and Insanitarium in blue and red on one team. And in the north, we have Chewbacca and Hoxio in yellow and green on another team. Looks
So,
like we're seeing... Yep.
This map is pretty interesting. There's just great lines straight down the middle by the water. It's quite apt for the first match of a 2v2 game.
Yeah, it's interesting to see whether the players will take this road. There's a nice long road that goes all the way around the map, around that river, or just kind of charge straight through the river. Of course, rivers will slow you down. If you walk through them, all of your units will be slowed down as well. So retreating through a river is a terrible idea. But again, it is much longer to go around on those roads. So let's see, we're seeing all players sticking to their timing right now. All players except for Massive Stealth on 6 farms. Massive Stealth throwing down 2 early squirrel warrens. Chewbacca also throwing down a lizard warren at about 6 farms. And in Sanitarium has a squirrel warren as well. So earlier play from Massive Stealth. We'll see if you can take advantage of having units out a little bit earlier and giving Sanitarium time to build up some economy.
Well, so far both teams already have units out on the field right now. So we're probably not going to see too much action. Massive Stealth put his Warren out really aggressively out in front just to fend off whatever Chewbacca and Hoxie decide to throw at them. But has to be a little bit careful here.
All right, first engagement going down. Lizards running through the water. Looks like Massive Stealth does not have enough to defend from this at the moment. Some squirrels from Insanitarium coming to back up. That Warren does go down. Actually, both Warrens do go down. Massive Stealth has one Warren left in the back. It looks like Insanitarium Squirrels saving the day here, beating back the Squirrels of Chewbacca and Hoxiel in this first engagement.
I think a really nice thing was putting down that Warren there in front, just so that the aggro would be focused more towards the Warren rather than Massive Stealth's units. So he was actually able to hold out for himself pretty well there, but here comes a giant army of lizards from yellow and green here.
There they go, hitting that road, speedily getting a speed boost, taking out a lot of the units from Insanitarium and Massive Stealth. That turret firing, but it's not quite in the right place to defend, and it looks like they're going to get right into Massive Stealth's base. One farm goes down, two farms go down, three farms go down. Are they going to get all of the farms at Massive Stealth's base here? I'm
pretty sure Massive Stealth is done for here. His only option is to sell off all his units just so that he can have enough food to buy farms, and even then, he's still in danger of starving out. So that was just an extremely successful play by Hoxiel and Hunter.
A devastating economic attack from Hoxiel and Hunter. Looks like Insanitarium's going to have to hold the fort while Massive Stealth tries to rebuild his economy, which is going to be very difficult. He had a Falcon Warren out for a little bit, but he sold that to get some farms back.
And here comes the Lizard Army once more, right onto the Sanitarium's line of the field here.
I don't think Insanitarium has enough to hold back these forces. 2 farms already down, 3 farms down. They're almost spent. It's like 3 farms. Those lizards being beaten back for the moment. I think, what do they need to do to defend from this? Knowing that they're going to be at an economic disadvantage, they need to try and stall the game out a little bit so they can get back on top. What do they have to do to get over this?
I feel like there's not really much they can do because, again, the Lizard Army is making their way back to the base once more. I mean, probably the best idea would have been to sell off those 2 turrets because basically he committed 3 turrets down on his area and he just doesn't have enough units to fend off either of Chewbacca or Hoxiel's forces. They both have 12 lizards. That's a lot of units to fight against, and neither Massive Stealth nor Sanitarium have anything to really defend. They have pigeons, which won't really help that much when you only have like 5 units on your side.
Definitely those turrets still staying up there, offering a little bit of defense. Of course, each player can sell their buildings in the game, something that's a little bit different from other real-time strategy games. You get the full food value back. Chewbacca and Hoxiel backing off a little bit, getting their expansions. Again, they could probably keep pushing in and just end this game right now, but maybe playing it safe. They know that they're at an advantage economically, and they're just going to push forward. 12 farms for Chewbacca, 10 farms for Hoxiel against 8 and 4 Massive Stealth and Sanitarium. So not looking great for them in this first game.
I noticed that the Sanitarium went out to go for an expansion here. I'm not sure if that's the right call because, again, Hoxiel and Hunter still have a gigantic army. Yeah. The Sanitarium is doing his best trying to hold him off here, but the problem is that Massive Stealth is so behind everybody right now that it's still essentially a 2v1 situation.
Don't even care about that river, just walking straight through it. Looks like some artillery is up now too. Hoxiel has thrown down an artillery unit right in the middle of the map. It's going to start picking away at that. Looks like the turrets have been sold and moved. But definitely trying to anchor down their win.
I mean, that artillery placement just basically ends the game. There's no way for Insanitarium to really push against either Hoxiel's units or Hunter's units because the cannons right there is going to do massive damage to all his units on the ground. And he has pigeons in the air which won't get hit, but it doesn't really matter when you only have 2 Warrens and 10 Squirrels. While Massive Stealth is still struggling with... Oh, wait. Is he going for moles here?
Chewbacca running in along the side.
Oh my
taking
gosh.
a couple units down.
Master Stealth is trying to go for the mole rush here in the upper corner here. He's summoning about 4 moles. He's getting his 5th one right now. He's going to try to make his way onto the farm. But the problem is that both Hawkseal and Hunter have already expansions in other places and plenty of farm, and these 2 initial farms are already almost done. So he's going to do his best to try to destroy these expansions, but it's not going to dent Hunter or Hawkseal that much.
Yeah, one mill going down already. There's a wolf out already as well. So really falling farther and farther behind in this match here. Chewbacca and Hawkseal is kind of toying with Master South and Insanitarium at this point.
The Lizard Ball is real.
4 farms and 2 farms.
Oh my gosh. This is just a massive units, and it's my spectating game is so slow right now. It's amazing.
So many things dying all at once. Looks like one of the last buildings are going down, and Sanitarium's out of the game completely. Master Stealth on 1 farm, no farms anymore. Now all they have to do is play the game of where is Master Stealth's last mill. Of course, it's in the east there. They might have already scouted it out. I think they have.
I mean, he only has 1 farm up anyway, so he's going to starve out. This is game.
Yo, GG. Chewbacca and Hawkseal taking game 1 of this best of 3 in Faction Frenzy.
I admire Master Stealth's attempt to try and get the mole rush, but the problem is that it took so long for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If he had done that maybe a few minutes ago when he realized that he was about to die, I think it would have been better. But at the same time, he had no economy on this side at all, so he couldn't build up those mole units.
Yeah. Again, what else could he do though? He did have those Falcons, which is again not having the economy. I think it really came down to that first engagement where those lizards took out almost every farm on Master Stealth's base.
Well, I think it was more of an issue that when the Sanitarium plonked down his first few turrets, they're all focused on one side of that map. So all Hawkseal and Hunter did was just move their units around the other side. And they just stormed their way into Master Stealth's base, and that was that.
Alright, well, here we go into game 2 of the first round of Faction Frenzy.
I do like how Sanitarium just immediately going for the boars. Like, okay, Mass Lizard is going to be a problem this patch. Let's bring out the boar and skunks right now.
Hawkseal going for that artillery again. Seemed to work pretty well for him last time. And also going for that wolf again. And that seemed to work pretty well. Actually, looks like Chewbacca's gone for the exact same build. Same build. Hawkseal has the same build as well. So thinking hard about what he wants to do. Again, they are down by 1 point. Hawkseal and Hunter have 1 point already. So if they lose this next game, Hawkseal and Chewbacca will advance into the semifinals.
I feel a little bit sorry for squirrels in this patch. They got more HP, but, because Lizard's got that increased DPS, they're still at the point a little bit more useful now.
Right. I especially feel bad for squirrels now that mines and toads have different retargeting. Before, what would happen is unit would walk up and trigger as many mines as it could before the mines went off, just explode whether the unit was dead or not. Now what happens is the mines are kind of smart, and if their target is dead, they will wait until another target comes along to explode. And here we go into game 2, Faction Frenzy. This best of 3 of Insanitarium and Master Stealth versus Chewbacca and Hawkseal. Latter in the east in yellow and green, and the former west in red and blue.
It's another pretty nice flat map, although, man, Hunter just has this great base position where he cannot get attacked easily at all. So they can actually afford to play the long game for them.
Yeah, down in that corner, even just a couple of turrets up on that high ground will seal off his base. Hawkseal will be a little bit more in the open. Some open space. Does have a nice background in this river here, but I think that's enough to stop the onslaught.
And Master Stealth already, he's going to go for the early lizards and barbed wire right now, only opting for 5 farms on his side, which is a pretty valid play considering that, it's 2v2, you have extra resources on both teams. Why not take advantage of that and build some units pretty fast?
Right. I'm also interested to see how the new snakes will come into play during this patch. Of course, snake's poison now affects buildings, so all you need to do is tag a building with a snake. So have the snake attack it once and back off, and that building will take 30 damage. I haven't seen that used yet.
It's pretty effective. It just kills turrets. Like machine gun nest, if you have like enough bodies in front of the snakes just take out the turrets immediately.
All right, well, here comes the lizards across the map again.
The barbed wire wasn't a nice choice, but considering that lizards are pretty big in this patch, I don't think it's a good idea to take barbed wire anymore.
That turret on the high ground is going to help a lot. Of course, those units cannot see up onto the high ground unless there's a flying unit or another unit up on that high ground. And with that barbed wire in front, that side of the base is a little bit more protected, but the lizards are just going to walk around the other side.
Again, here's the problem is that when they put down the structures like that, Hoxiel and Hunter can just commit to a different side of the map.
Toads just melted him.
Seeing that new Toad action in play. 2 lizards up for Insanitarium still.
So they are...
One Toad, yep.
Alright, so Master Stealth sees is like, you know what, I need to build more turrets. He's going to build turret on a nice little cliff side there next to his base, and it's going to... Now that's going to protect his farm much better.
Alright, Chewbacca losing his commander. Again, commanders respawn in 7 seconds, so it's not a big deal if you're not attacking. Of course, if the commander goes down while you're attacking, you lose all control of your units. So they'll keep attacking for you with their basic AI, but no micro can be had. Sanitarium getting out skunked, though.
He doesn't have it up, though. He's just moving his armies right away. He has the Toads out and ready. He's doing a lot of damage to Hoxiel's army there. Already a good number of them taken out by the explosions. And now Master Stealth is joining his forces in the match, but it looks like, unfortunately, Sanitarium and Master Stealth are going to be pushed backwards. And Hunter's units, most of them having survived the explosions, are going to keep pressing forward.
Hoxiel's lizard's still alive, 1 Warren going down, and also a turret. That turret in the background picking off any reinforcements that come in along the road. Skunk is out now for Insanitarium. We'll see how that affects these battles. Again, the lizards are very fast. They might not linger around in that skunk fog to take damage for enough time to make a difference, but we'll see. More barbed wire up, trying to go down. Sanitarium's really got to use these skunks to blanket the field with that skunk gas, which does damage per second. Here we go, engagement going down. Hoxiel's lizards in the front. Chewbacca trying to bring his squirrels up front. That gas coming down, though, and they're forced to back away. Sam taking that base there to try and tank some extra damage.
Yeah, Sanitarium, he's going to go for that expansion out in front in the middle of the battlefield. I think mostly just to get vision, so that he can further defend whatever comes out in front of the area.
Right. Also important to remember is we are nearing the 5-minute mark with the 4 initial farms at each player's base are farmed out, no longer producing food. Large possible engagement in the middle of the map here. There's lots of skunk fog down this time, though. So trying to bring his units around the top, and I think he's going to be successful in taking down a lot of Insanitarium's food. Master Stealth stuck trying to defend the front there. Insanitarium finally bringing back his army. Down goes the base. Sanitarium has 1 base left. And not even a farm building. Barely a farm building, but a base going down as well. I didn't catch which color lost that base. Still, Chewbacca and Hoxiel in a very good position economically. 11 farms to 8 to Master Stealth 7 and Sanitarium's 1. Again, economic disaster. Sanitarium this time.
Just some nice backdoor plays coming up from Hoxiel here. He sees that the army is all gathering from here, finds the backdoor slope, and just decides to go up that way.
Right, Toad's going in again, and Sanitarium's Toad's doing a lot of work. Still deciding to back off. Chewbacca and Hoxiel have to be a little bit careful, although they have a massive economic advantage right now.
Master tried to go for that expansion up there, but they got found out.
So surprisingly, although Insanitarium only has 1 farm, he's got a sizable army. He's got 2 skunks out, 5 toads, and 6 lizards. So if Chewbacca and Hoxiel aren't careful enough, they could lose their armies and still go down economically. if
Speaking
the
of
timing is ready.
economics, Hawkshield is actually pretty dangerously low. He's only living on 4 farms right now. He does have the wolf coming out very soon, but with only 4 farms, he has to find a way to make the best of his army without losing too much of it. That back door was a great start, and it'll probably end up. The Sanitarium has to be very careful about his play. Like, they have to end this match fast.
Yeah, Huxtale buying that base down to the south of the map. Again, he's only on 2 farms right now. 2 more farms dying off in the time it took. But again, massive army of lizards for Chewbacca. 18 lizards going up to 27, and there goes the wolf buff is out, and they're just going to go to town on these. Master South trying to attack to the east, trying to take out as many units as he can, but he's just going to get chased down by these lizards. Meanwhile, in the south, Sanitarium's lost all of his units except for those skunks. 2 hawk seals, lizards, and wolf. Now they're in trouble. And units swarming around, that wolf buff going down.
Master Stealth he's just trying his best to try to make the most of a bad situation right now, but he got surrounded very fast there. Especially when he went behind the base, which I think was kind of a questionable play coming from him.
I think this is going to be game. The Lemon Lime Horde sweeping over the map and about to take out Master South's last base. And it is. So Hawk Seal and Chewbacca taking this series 2-0 against Sanitarium and Master South. So unfortunately, Sanitarium and Master South are out.
I think just what happened there was that, like, Master Stealth was just constantly behind in terms of economy. Like, if you're looking at the graph, he was always on the bottom. Even when he was trying to go for some backdoor plays around the enemy map and was trying to take down Hawkseal's first expansion, he still had issues, like, matching the army with an army that Hawkseal and Hunter were just able to get out really fast.
Yeah. I was hoping that those skunks would do a little bit more damage. They did help in a couple engagements, but overall, just the massive lizards was too much.
And because it's lizards, they can just run away from the gas very easily and take pretty minimal damage. So skunks may not be the best answer against that many lizards. Probably might want to think about maybe some either massing skunks or just trying to pump out just as much units as the opponents do here in that case. The idea of taking out the boar was fine and dandy, but they just never got the economy to take him out.
Yeah, Andy, what are you seeing from your end? I know you're controlling the camera in this situation. What are you seeing in terms of overall strategies from a dev perspective? Things you expected or didn't expect?
Well, I think that the toads did well in countering the lizards, but they didn't invest enough into toads. They only got 1 warren each, and against that many lizards, you probably need to go 2 or 3 warrens of toads, because if only 1 warren can wipe a whole army of toads like that, then imagine how many just a few more might do. So I can imagine if people consistently play, at least in 2v2, a lot of lizards, you might want to slot mines or toads or something like that.
Right. Just something to take out.
We did a test yesterday, Captain Fog. At large numbers, squirrels actually beat lizards. At
Really?
Large numbers.
Do you think
But there's
that's
a
because
critical
of the rate?
mass. There's like a point in which that happens. It's like sometime around the 20s.
Yeah.
Prior to that, lizards will outright beat squirrels, but then you achieve some amount, and it makes it so squirrels are the better one.
Right. So it looks like our next lobby is just about ready. It's a new lobby, True Administrator and Bagel Denizen, and also Mr. U. I as well, but it's going to be Bagel Denizen and Mr. U versus True Administrator and
Oh,
Shoe
you guys
Fly
are
Five.
in another lobby?
Yes.
Yeah, we moved out.
Okay. For those of you who are not in the balance loop, the experiment that we're trying is one of the pieces of feedback that is hitting home with me the most, given the most recent tournament, is that in the most recent tournament, I do feel like it's one of the best states of balance that we've had, and a lot of people have expressed their happiness with Tier 1 balance, especially considering that it's been so hard to do in the past. One of the things that I don't like particularly about it is that the game changed from basically a back and forth, like almost like footsies. In fighting games, they have a term called footsies in which you sort of like measure the distance between you and your opponent, and you sort of bait them to move forward so that you can move forward, and etc. And that sort of interaction is a very high level psychological interaction that we want to have. With such fragile units as the squirrels were. They would fall in a single commitment, meaning that the engagements were mostly about trying to see if you had the better army and then committing. Whereas I feel like for high level play, it's better to have more subtle interaction before a commitment, and you couldn't have that if the squirrels died instantly. So I tried, back when we first started prototyping the game, we designed an average of 5-second lifetime per unit at the low level. So because we felt like 5 seconds of combat was about the right amount of time combat should be for the engagement to feel short enough to be not boring and micro intensive, but also long enough to actually have some interactions and some last minute decision making to make it really interesting. And the scrolls are definitely just the moment a bullet came out, you would lose a third of your army. So I haven't shifted the balance in terms of what squirrels their function. Their function's still exactly the same. I just tried to prolong the length of which the combat happens, so you can have some decision making and some repositioning that would put a high level player over a low level player. Like it's just in order to do that, it actually required me, in order to maintain the balance and prolong the squirrel's life, it actually required me to increase the health of, or increase the stats slightly and like equivalent to all the other tier 1s, which we were seeing a problem with anyway. We weren't seeing any pigeons, we were rarely seeing any toads, so I wanted to increase some of that. And then people were complaining that mole squirrel as a composition was better than any T2 composition. So this kind of shift would have affected that, hopefully for the better.
Is that kind of idea of trying to have longer engagements going to carry over into the tier 2s? I know that something like chameleons, you can kind of poke and run away. It's pretty good for
the
that
feedback
kind of-
was tier 2 was mostly, there wasn't a lot of criticism on tier 2. That doesn't necessarily mean that people thought tier 2 was well balanced, but from what I saw, people played a wide variety of the units, and they played them to very interesting effect. You would have instant instant combat with chameleons, or you could have long drawn out combat with the ferrets, or you could have, more regular style combat with the skunks and whatnot. So like I felt tier 2 was fine, and people liked tier 3 as well, aside from the owl. The only one I felt like had the most criticism was tier 1.
Right. Right, well, it looks like we might have to move to a different match. One of our players is missing in action. So we're going to move to the second round. We just saw Hoxeel and Hunter beat Massive Self and Insanitarium in the first round, but we're going to move to their second match right now, which is going to be Chu and AV Ultima versus them, versus Hoxeel and Hunter.
Chu, our recently newly crowned king of Tooth and Tail, with AV Ultima, the winner of the July Joust. So I think this is going to be a pretty tough matchup, just looking at what the two players have accomplished by their own.
Right, and of course that might not mean that they're good at working together. I don't know that I've seen these two players work in a 2v2 scenario, but they certainly have the individual skill. We'll see if that combines or whether that clashes with each other. If one of them decides to go for a strategy the other one isn't anticipating, it could mean disaster for the team. Whereas we've seen Hoxeel and Chewbacca really pulling it together as a team in terms of coordinating their attacks and saying, all right, I'm going to switch and go around the outside. We saw that beautiful wraparound, that backdoor in the last game. But we'll see.
Who are we missing on this match?
AV Ultima.
AV Ultima.
Okay.
One thing I I guess like another thing that Chu and AV Ultima may have is they probably were looking at Hoxie and Chewbacca's playstyle, and that they've just masked up these tier ones. That that was sort of the focus of how they played the game. They made sure they got the farm to sustain an army and just immediately try to put down as many tier one wizards as they could.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Chu and AV Ultima are going to try to find a way to play around that or to counter it. It'll be interesting to see.
All right, well, we have AV Ultima joined in this lobby right now, so it looks like we are ready to go ahead and ready up and jump into our game 2. This is going to be the semifinals of Chu and AV Ultima versus Hoxiel and Hunter. We'll see whether Hunter and Hoxiel decide to do the same thing they did last time. For the same builds with it, they'll try and switch it up a little bit.
Hoxie just writing out the tournaments that he's done with. Come on, have faith in yourself. You can do it. I'm just waiting on some people to ready up here, hopefully.
Will happen soon. Again, some exciting changes coming in the future, if I'm not mistaken, Andy. Check Twitter if you want to see a little preview of what's going to happen. But here we go. All players are readied up here. And it's going to be green and yellow, Hoxiel and Chewbacca versus red and blue, which is Chew and AV Ultima.
AV Ultima with the plans already. You got the barbed wire, you got the toads, lizards as well.
And look at that. Chew going for mines and skunks. Some great AoE, both players with some area of attack to try and deal with large amounts of tier 1 units we saw before.
I'm just going to go for both Mr. Butter and Volkov here.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely Uncle Butters with that wolf and also with Hawks is a devastating combination. Just putting out so much DPS at once. Again, Chewbacca has that wolf as well and Mr. Butters, so...
Interestingly, the Hunter... Oh, he was changing up his strategy a little bit. He was also going to go for the wolf boar, and then I saw him pick up moles, but it looks like he's changing his mind, going back to what he originally worked with. Snakes and lizards in buildings. So yeah, I mean, again, Hoxiel and Hunter just going with their usual strategy. Nothing too much has changed from their lineup from what I can see.
Alright, just waiting on Hoxiel for his last unit here, maybe some last minute coordination. Chew not going with any turrets at all, I see. And also AV Ultima going with just that artillery, so no defensive no turrets at least. A lot of players like to take turrets in their 1v1 matches as kind of a solid backbone for defense.
I think considering how fast TV2 can go, it might not be a good investment to rely so much on turrets. I think it'll depend on what kind of map they get here.
Right.
And this is a very odd map, I have to say.
Yeah, big lake in the middle with a stream to the north. We've got AV Ultima and Chew to the north in red and blue. And we've got Chewbacca and Hoxiel as green and yellow to the south. Looks like...
So, Chew already committing for 2 mines right in front of the lake there. 3 mines. Alright, he's watching out for any lizard rushes here. Oh, did he see that mine? I don't think he saw the mine.
So that mine going down successfully. We'll see whether it's able to take out that first push of tier 1 units that we see a lot of players doing.
What? Chewbacca and Hoxie already getting their units up. Chewbacca already putting down his second warn as well. So lizard rush it is from from these 2 players. And Chew's just committing for these mines.
Alright, AV Ultima going up to full farm is going to be the economic powerhouse of this team up. Chew, again, putting those mines down to try and defend those early attacks. We'll see if it's enough to take out those lizards. Oh, 1 lizard goes down to a mine. Looks like the other's kind of stuck on the low ground. Another mine goes down. See if
The
it's
Bridges
enough,
did.
though.
It's already 2 mines down though, and not that much damage against their units.
Yeah, so maybe not quite getting their money's worth back. Again, each mine is about 20 food, and each tier 1, each lizard is 20 food as well. So you definitely need to hit more than 1 unit if you want to get your money's worth in terms of mines.
AV Ultimate, though, he's stocking up on toads right now. 3 warrens of toads already.
Wow, getting up to 4 toads, going up to 9 total toads. That's going to be devastating for an entirely lizard army, especially with those new changes.
And I mean, like we saw in the last match, Chewbacca and Hoxel both going for that lizard commitment here, just massing up these tier 1 units, and then getting the wolf down from Hoxel.
Alright, AV Ultima expanding to the east, and Chewbacca expanding just outside his own base. And it looks like Hoxiel also expanding. So Chew is the only one left without the expansion. Of course, all players are on their full 8 farms right now, so they're all farming as efficiently as they can. We'll see which players pull ahead in terms of economy. Chew losing his commander a little bit.
There are so many units on the field right now that my spectating is like frame skipping now. It's amazing.
Oh no. 12 lizards for Chew, 6 lizards and 9 toads out for AV Ultima.
There's so many units out right now. It's amazing. Neither side is making a commitment here. I think both teams are just sort of content with playing the farm game. Although it looks like no Hunter, he's just scouting around for more expansions and seeing what the enemy is doing. Not too much action here. This is going to be a pretty farm-heavy game, it looks like.
Yeah, which I tend to favor. I like seeing giant balls of units attack each other. I like seeing the interactions between them. The Ultimate throwing down 4 bits of barbed wire around that side to try and protect that west. Artillery has been thrown down by Hoxel right in the middle of their bases. That's a pretty good way to defend at least that northern side. The eastern side is still a little bit undefended. It's a lot of food to sink into a single defense if it's not covering as much as possible. They're going to go into their first attack. 2 mines going down, taking out a fair number of lizards. More mines going down. A lot of Hoxiel's lizards going down. Hoxiel has no lizards left.
Chew just had so many mines. It's insane. 7 mines placed down, and they're doing all the work. It's great.
Forced to retreat, and Chew is now going to push in and start taking out units. He's got to be careful about that artillery.
Oh my gosh.
Staying out of range of that. But he does take down a lot of warrens and a farm before his falcons do go down. So the attack has been cleaned up. Chewbacca with snakes out now. Hoxiel still on lizards and toads. Chew with falcons coming out. And AV Ultima as red with a wolf out.
And Chew's just going to go in. That's basically his opening to attack, considering how much damage that the army's got. But I wonder if Hoxiel can hold out this. Chewbacca's definitely going to lose that expansion unless they can't do anything about it.
I think he might be a little bit behind. That engagement is already finished. AV Ultima
Oh,
just
am
took
I?
another expansion.
Wow.
Which,
Okay.
AV Ultima's expansion has just gone down with what he just took. Chewbacca throwing down mines of his own in the east. Hoxiel is going to try and wrap around to the north, but find a solid wall of barbed wire unless he can sneak around in that back door. Large army out for Chew and AV Ultima now. AV Ultima expansion there. Chewbacca losing his commander. To do something quickly, they overrun. Again, AV Ultima has been farming this entire time.
He has so much farm. He's already gotten 16 farm on his side. He is just holding on to the long game right now.
We have passed that 5-minute mark, so farms are starting to farm out. The first 4 on each player's base have been farmed out. And then in the order that they were created, they will start farming out. So both players need to have expansions up, which it looks like all of them do, in order to continue being competitive and contribute to the economy of their team.
The thing is, because Hoxiel went committed for 2 artillery cannons, they don't really have the wolf out to really justify them pouring so much into the tier 1 units.
Again, those artillery units can also be taken out without attacking back against falcons. So those falcons are able to take out those artillery cannons if they're able to get around. Chu trying to bring his falcons around for a little bit of a sneaky attack, but he's going to be met by a giant yellow army. Those hawks are going to get caught out in the corner here. One's getting poisoned. 2 are poisoned. 3 are poisoned. All of them going down. Wolf buff coming out, trying to cut those armies in half. But just kind of pulling back, waiting for that buff to go out smartly. Chewbacca is going to re-engage now that that buff is gone.
Well, I am pretty far behind where you are.
Large engagement here, not quite in range of those green turrets. Like AV Ultimate and Chu are going to come out ahead in this. I don't know if this to push back. War is out for Chu, and that's going to be devastating for Chewbacca and Hoxio, especially with a wolf as well. It's going to melt through all of their units. Goes the buff again. Boar still buffed with 100 health, taking out the last units. So screaming in, it's going to die. This is not looking good at all for Chewbacca and Hoxio in this game 1. 2 wolves out, actually. AV Ultimate has 2 wolves out.
He has just been doing such a good job of keeping up his farm. Like, he knows that Chewbacca and Hoxie are scared of coming out of their base right now. Especially after the initial engagements or on top of mines. They don't want to take a bad engagement, but because of that, they're a little bit slow on getting their units up, and this just allowed AV Ultimate to just amass a bunch of farm.
Yeah. Chewbacca losing his expansion there, so he has no farms anymore. He's going to starve out in 60 seconds unless he can get that base rebuilt and build a farm. So he's in a lot of trouble. He's got
and the
4
boar.
snakes out.
Oh, the boar.
But only 1 warren for them, so he's not even going to be able to reinforce. He's playing very carefully with those snakes. The Ultimate is sitting on 11 farms and Chu on 15, so Chu taking the economic advantage now. The Ultimate's done a lot of the heavy lifting with those 2, so that timing attack, absolutely devastating. And artillery just hasn't really done a whole lot. Chewbacca trying to make a sneaky expansion in the west here. Expansion being taken out by Hoxio. Again, you know, try and get whatever kind of advantage you can when you're this far behind.
I'm really far behind in this replay. I'm only at the part where Chu tried to sneak around with his falcons and got killed by snakes.
Oh, wow, okay. Can you change the time scale? There's a little button in there. You can change it to 2 times. See if you can catch up to the live.
Let's see if I can. What time are you at?
9:06, 9:07.
I am very far behind. Excuse me for a sec.
All right, blue and red army sweeping across the field, and I think this is going to be GG. Chewbacca's base has just been taken out for seals. But in comes the red and blue tide. Those snakes from Chewbacca trying to pick at the tier 3s in the back, and they are going to get down. Units, almost all those hawks going down. The snakes are still alive. It's like Hawks are going to get taken out here, so it's just Chewbacca on 4 farms and the west. He has no warrants. All 4 snakes. Comes the rest of the army. 1 snake goes down. Chewbacca, run away. 1 snake left on 7 health. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna try and poison that boar. So now they know there's only 1 base left, and they have to go find it now. He's gonna do it. Is he? Oh no! So the snake goes down. The boar left at 10 health. And Chewbacca just letting his commander die. He knows that he is doomed. No units out on the field for Chewbacca right now. He's only got 4 farms and his base has just been found out. In come the tide of lizards. Taking this game 1. The Ultima. It's Chew versus Chewbacca and Hoxdale. Red and blue, your winners. Is a best of 3, so they do have another chance to come back and try and change their strategy a little bit. What do they need to do in this next game?
They just need to be not afraid to take more engagements. I think after the initial ones where they lost some units to mines, they still were doing fine economically, so they could have just kept pressing the engagements and tried to find other avenues because you can't have mines everywhere as much as you like to think. And it's also a matter of trying to maybe bait out where the mines are going to pop as well, since there's a bit of a delay and lizards can run by them pretty fast.
Right. Andy,
So-
how did you feel about that game? We saw lots of mines and we saw the toads in play. A lot of players having toads out in those mines, devastating in the beginning. Is that working as intended, do you think?
Yeah, I feel like when you play the toads to specifically counter that, that style of like lizard aggression, it really worked out for AV Ultima. You could see the swing in army value the moment you engage into toads, and that's when the lizard heavy armies need to think about transitioning into like falcons or snakes or something that can survive a lot better than simple lizard spam.
Right. All
In
right.
terms of let's see. In terms of Blood, nothing too much different. I do sort of question the option of going artillery that early in the game, and he built it so defensively inside his own base. I think that was just a lot of money
Uh-oh.
spent into
You sound like auto-tune.
Uh-oh. So,
the players where he couldn't even use the artillery.
we're having some audio problems here. Hopefully we'll get those sorted out for you. But in the meantime,
This sounds like a pop song.
we have AV Ultima and DS2 in the west in blue and red. Huxley and Chewbacca in the east in yellow and green. It's open map this time. Andy, what do you think about this map?
Singing or something?
He sounds like a teenage hip hop pop song.
My god.
That was good. I like it.
Bestie, see if you could restart your Discord. Maybe that'll help. But in the meantime,
Oh my god, what's going on?
in the meantime, Chew and AV Ultima going
I
for.
think my game froze on me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right, don't worry about it. Sort it out, and just let us know when you're back up. But in the meantime, looks like Chewbacca and Hoxiel going for the same build that they've been using. Chewbacca already having actually all players having 2 Squirrel Warrens. Hoxiel going for the early Wolf. That's going to be interesting. So Wolf first on maybe 6 farms, and it's hidden up there in the down there in the south on top of that ledge. You can't even get to that ledge from Hoxiel's main base. You have to walk all the way around over an expansion. So that's going to be a definite surprise. And it looks like AV Ultima spotted those 2 Warrens just going down. So we'll see whether he suspects that something should have gone up in that meantime. And Hoxiel's going to go ahead and sell those 2 Warrens so we can get that Wolf started. And it's already halfway done. AV Ultima getting out a lot of toads all at once. That's going to be devastating. Again, those units, Blizzards are going to have to take out all those toads before they explode. Shoot pigeons out. So that high ground vision. Neither player has spotted this wolf up here. Hoxiel's going to try and bring around just some of his lizards to try and distract. In come the red and blue lizards across the field. Chewbacca's left to defend by himself. And we'll see if Hoxiel decides. Yes, he's going to drag that wolf over. We'll see if they're in time. Lots and lots of toads, though, for AV Ultima. They're almost at this main base of Chewbacca. Hoxiel's base first. Actually, none of them exploded. In goes that wolf, and it's walking through. It gets taken down almost immediately. Not even a single buff going down. So that early wolf taken out. Nothing has come of that investment by Hoxiel. 2 farms are down for Hoxiel. So disaster. Just with an early push of lots of lizards. That wolf having to walk all the way around and come back down. Good. 5 farms, 6 farms down. For Hoxiel, desperately throwing down some turrets to try and defend a little bit.
Quick thing I want to bring to the devs' attention. Change timescale is not changing the timescale. It's actually locking it, so I can't actually zoom in or zoom out at all.
Yeah, it only speeds up the rate in which you like try to go. and then it kind of just lags the game. We know
Okay,
about that one.
good.
I'm sorry.
Good to know. Because I just got back into the game. I was trying to see if I could catch up, but
Oh no. All right, well, we're at 4 minutes here. So these
Okay,
farms.
I'll wait for the next game then.
Okay, so these farms are gonna start farming out for both players. Again, got to make sure you got your expansions up before you hit that 5-minute mark. Otherwise, your economy is gonna take a massive hit. AV Ultimate throwing up 4 or 5 farms all at once for this expansion. Yes, most players realizing, oh no, we've got to have our expansions up. Got your economy. It's back out for Hoxseal. Along with those lizards, we'll see if he's able to make better use of it this time. In comes the army, though. That's a lot of toads. The buck does go down, trying to carefully micro their way back. 1 toad explosion goes down, 2 toads explosions. With a lot of explosions, those lizards are getting melted. The wolf is down now, and it looks like all of the units have died for yellow and green here. He's going to lose his main base. And that's GG. And Shu wiping the floor, unfortunately, in a 2-0 against Hoxiel and Hunter. So Shu and AV Ultimate will move on to the grand finals. But in the meantime, it looks like we have our missing player back for the round 1, True Fly Pie and Bagel and you. That should be up.
All right, I am sitting in that room right now and watching them get ready very soon.
All right, so we are jumping back 1 round. We're in round 1, which is still a best of 3. But we're going to have True Administrator and Shoot Fly Pie in yellow and green, and Bagel Denizen and Mr. U in red and blue on a team. And this is a best of 3, so whoever gets 2 wins first.
Who is True? Is True Administrator? Is that his name in Slack or Discord?
That is. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
True admin.
I have not seen him play it, but we'll see. Yeah, they've been combining their names for these 2 teams, which ends up with some pretty interesting.
I would have also liked Mr. U Fly Pie.
All right, we do. Oh, I was about to say, oh my gosh, we have squirrels, but then Bagel switched to lizards, so I'm like, oh.
Don't worry.
The lizards got so strong in this patch.
They did, yes.
Yeah, I took a gamble, but I can revert it.
Lizards live in the spotlight. Enjoy it as well as you can right now.
Go, enjoy while you can.
All right, Shoot Fly Pie taking those owls, which I believe we've seen him use to great effect in tournaments, using them as owl bombs. Again,
Mr. U also taking owls and boars, and a boar. That's an interesting unit composition. I'm curious what the synergy is.
yeah. And I guess you have the mice from the owls are gonna get out in front of the army and kind of tank for the for that boar even more. Again, the boar has the most health in the game with 100 health. The boar doesn't really need any kind of tank, but maybe even doing more damage than usual. Here we go, Shoot Fly Pie and True Administrator in the north as yellow and green on a team, and Big Mr. U in the south as red and on a team. And Mr. U is...
Look at that expansion right next to Mr. U's base that he can't get to easily at all. That is... Ooh.
The ultimate taunt. You have to go around the water or through it to get to that expansion.
So here's the thing that Shu and True Admin could take advantage of that position and just grab a very aggressive expansion. You know?
Yeah, one thing to think about is that it is on low ground, so unless they have flying units, they're not going to have vision.
Yeah.
I guess Bagel. They do have a balloon. Shoot Fly does have a balloon, so that balloon is flying and will give you lots of vision.
Owl too is there, but that's going to take
owl. Yep.
I mean, it's a suggestion. I don't think it's actually wise to do that, but because it's a really bad location for an expansion, really.
Right. In general, this entire map is not looking great for Bagel Denizen and Mr. U. They're kind of caught in this southern corner here. No good expansions around them. All Shoot Fly Pie and True Administrator have to do is take the base just to the northwest of this big river here. Or again, that base that we were just talking about. And they'll lock down that whole corridor. So we'll see. Bagel Denizen taking some lizards over to try and attack. Shoot Fly Pie throwing up a turret.
Okay, Shufipai did take squirrels, I see. Okay, so he is going to go with squirrels.
Because I'm wondering.
Mines going down from True Administrator doing their job, picking off 2 lizards. So early aggression is out of the question now. All players are up to their 8 farms with armies starting to build. So any advantage that Bagel Dennis and Mr. U could have used with early game aggression is gone now, unfortunately.
I just love how Mr. Yu is just taking advantage of the mines and putting them right at that choke point out at the entrance of the lake there. It just makes it so hard for them to bring their units there, and they have to either go through the lake or just not bring units to that choke point at all, and it just limits what direction they can go to.
All right, well, Mr. Yu trying to drag his units around to the north, but is going to get caught out. All of his units are going to get taken down by the combined armies of green and yellow at once. An extra lizard trying to reinforce, but getting picked. Oh, he survived. Barely. Trying to get dragged around. This lizard's stuck in the water, actually. And they're just going to get taken out by this green army. They don't move.
Again, just unfortunate placement of where everything is at the moment.
And here we go. Green and yellow. Green buying that expansion, and there's already a wall closing off that part of the map. Which means one of the red and blue players is going to have to run and get one of these bases to the east if they want to stand a chance in this game. There we go. Bagel is in buying that base to the east, so we'll see how long he can keep it a secret.
Mr. Yu is he is committing to so many mines. He wants this expansion behind this area. He just plopped down like 5 or 6 mines in front of that base.
Oh wow, he's got 10 mines out on the field right now. Of course, knowing they have to keep those expansions up if they want to go for long term. Since green already has that base right in front of their own base, that would have been the other choice for an expansion. It's just too close to True Administrator's first base.
Oh, the lizards are such in a bad spot. They're just getting killed as they're trying to walk through the water, and that goes a lot of Mr. Yu's army.
It looks like a copy.
Alright, Bagel Denizen did have ferrets out just briefly. They just got taken down. We're at 4 minutes right now, getting close to that 5-minute mark, so they're going to have to make sure they have their expansions up. Bagel Denizen still has that secret base in the east, 3 farms going down on it right now. Mr. Yu's going to throw down 3 farms of his own at his expansion. Shootfly Pie actually just now grabbing an expansion, and True Administrator lost that base that was keeping them in. Him though. We'll see, Mr. Yu and Bagel Denizen might be able to pull ahead in terms of economy. But Shootfly Pie with his owl out now, so owl plus to deal with.
Did they fix the weird owl bug?
Which weird owl bug is that?
The one where the mice just wouldn't move at all.
They move with the right click, but they don't move with the left click right now.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So a giant chunk of Mr. Yu's lizard army getting taken out by this combined force of yellow and green, and they're just going to start sweeping into the main farming bases of Bagel Denizen and Mr. Yu. Not looking great at all. That buff goes down again. And there's nothing that Bagel Denizen can do. They're going to have to shift. He is counterattacking in the north. His main base does go down. Both players have their expansions, so losing these bases is an economic disadvantage, but they can still maybe last a little bit longer. And right now it's a base race. Bagel Denizen attacking in the north with his army of lizards, snakes, and ferrets. And Shootfly Pie and True Administrator combining their forces in the south to take out Mr. Yu's main base. And they're just going to keep rolling onto Mr. Yu's last base here, so Mr. Yu's going to be out. Let's see if Bagel Denizen is able. He does! Bagel Denizen just took out Shootfly Pie, so Shootfly Pie is out of the game. All
Holy crap.
has to do now is take out True Administrator's base. And that's it!
Oh
Bagel
my
Denizen
gosh.
and Mr. Yu have just taken game 1!
What a base race.
Now.
So I want to just address a question. Kobo the Great said in the map that the map favored the southern 2 bases. It favored the north 2 players more than the south 2 players because the south 2 players had no easy expansions.
Mm-hmm.
The south 2 players won the base race because they had no easy expansions. Basically, the base race was prolonged by the fact that their expansions are so out of the way that the north 2 players would have to go even further to go to kill it. So it's like you can always look for reasons to be mad at what you're given, but I think there are options on how to deal with the situation that in certain situations bad luck can actually be good luck. And in this case, if he had his expansions really close to his actual base, he would have lost that base race, I think.
Yeah.
I think what was really interesting is that Mr. Yu made a commitment for that base really early on. I think I noticed that he just plopped down 6 mines on top of that hill. That basically ensured that expansion would not get attacked at all, or not in the near future. And it looks like you're just really smart about taking their expansions. I will say Shufly Pai did take his expansion very slowly. Despite the fact that they're amassing a huge army, he was only on 6 farms in the mid part of the game. So he definitely was, unfortunately, kind of behind on the economy front.
Yeah, again, we're seeing the importance, especially in a game like Tooth and Tail, where every map is randomly generated, of being able to adapt to your map for whatever you've given. So perfect example there. We're going to jump into game 2 of True Administrator and Shootfly Pie versus Bagel Denizen and Mr. Yu. They have selected all of their units at this time. And Mr. Yu are up 1-0. So if they win this next game, they're going into the semifinals against Lev and Deadbones. It's not a match that anybody wants to be up against.
2 matches in a row, we saw mines play a huge deal in these games, and so they're going to continue on. Both sides having mines on their side.
All right, Bagel Denizen and Mr. Yu in the northeast in red and blue, and True Administrator and Shoofly Pie in the southwest in yellow and green. How do we feel about this map? Is this a little bit more balanced than the last one? Or
it feels balanced.
Other choices.
That's pretty bad. There's a lot of choices for expansions here, and what's interesting is that blue and red have some interesting high ground choices on their side. So, it doesn't look like finding expansion is going to be an issue here, really.
Right, again, yellow and green having a lot of choices just around their main base. Some nice safe ones.
Oh my gosh. True Admin just plopped a mine right there.
It looks like we're actually having mine battles. There's a couple places
mine placement there.
A couple places in this map where there's blue mines from opposing colors sitting right next to each other. They're just going to kind of stare at each other until somebody comes along and trips them.
Alright, I'm having some weird issues on my end, so I think I'm just going to turn on the stream and watch the game from there.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, we have Bagel Denizen and Mr. Yu at 7 farms each. True Administrator and Shoofly Pie both already on full 8 farms. So at least in the early game, going for a more unfocused build versus Mr. Yu and Bagel Denizen trying to get their units out quicker. That might favor Shoofly Pie and True Administrator in the end, since they have so many bases. Yeah, look at that. Shoofly Pie going ahead and grabbing that first expansion. And True Administrator might double expand. There we go. Nice safe expansion in the south for True Administrator. Again, there's no way to attack that except to go through his main base unless there's something flying out on the field. Then they could come around. Oh no, they can't even reach that because there's no way to get up on that second tier. So extremely safe expansion for True Administrator. Meanwhile, Bagel Denizen expanding to the east. Takes that northern base. It's also a very safe base away from action. Mines going down, exploding on the red lizards there. Trying to clear them out a little bit.
So I finally tuned back in, and I'm just seeing a lot of mine placements right now.
Engagement going on briefly in the middle, trying to take out some of this barbed wire before it gets too thick. More barbed wire going down from Shoofly Pie in the middle of the space here, so probably trying to wall off as much as they can, going for that long game. If they manage to wall off this whole southern portion of the map, they're going to have a large economic advantage. Bagel Denizen and Mr. Yu to recognize what's at stake here and build up their armies to punch through in a certain place or around that undefended north while they still can before this great wall of barbed wire place, but the time is quickly running out. Snakes are out for Bagel Denizen. Again, remember those snakes do poison structures. Not barbed wire, I don't think, but they are able to tag those turrets and take them out.
And Shufai Pai is just committing so much barbed wire on the ground right now. He is just making a fortress of hurt here. The problem is, like, Mr. Yu, he just pops in from the... I'm just watching this. I'm a little bit behind, but he's watching this, and he just suddenly finds a back door out. I'm not sure if either Shufai Pai or True Admin saw that happening, but there is still a way around this massive fortress here.
Something interesting I want to point out that just happened with this current patch. In the middle of the field, there's a line with all 4 commanders' colors on it right now. That line just shifted positions because of the base that Bagel Denizen completed just to the northeast of that line. So you can no longer place defensive structures outside of that shifted the lines of territory, which means that that barbed wire can't be rebuilt now unless that red windmill goes down. But artillery going down for green right here. Bagel Denizen losing some lizards to a couple of mines. Again, this defense in the middle here is just so large. An owl is out. That could help to try and take out some of that barbed wire. Of course, owls spawning free mice up to 6. But oh no, that artillery is out, and it's going to start hammering away. Denizen red windmill up here. Denizen knows it. It's going to start selling these farms. Grambling, they're going to try and push in right now. We'll see. Now, blue army coming in from the south, red army coming in from the north. That wolf is going to get taken down. The owl pops, and out come the mice, but they're going to die almost immediately. So many units there, as well as having that artillery there, which does area damage with each shot. So a devastating attack. Not much gain. More artillery fire going down. They've got to change their strategy right now. You can't continue to attack this wall. It's too strong. They have to go around to the north where there's much less strong defense, or try and switch to all flying units, which aren't going to be affected by that artillery. But any kind of massive army push from them right now is just going to get absolutely obliterated by this artillery here. Push around to the south here. Looks like they're almost out of the way of that artillery. Not quite, but a buff goes down from the wolf at the worst possible time, and army getting completely melted. No units left. Red left in the background, trying to plonk away at some of the defenses with these ferrets here. But again, another attack going the way of Shufai Pai and True Administrator. Their wall still stands strong. Wolf out again. I think Bagel Denizen has to use these ferrets a little bit more effectively to try and leave them a little bit closer and pick away at the structures out of range of that artillery. That north is still slightly open if they want to try and push around to the north. 13 fires for Bagel Denizen, 6 for Mr. Yu on one side, and Shufai Pai and True Administrator with 9 and 13 farms, respectively. So still with a slight economic advantage. Mr. Yu has gone ahead and bought that northern base. So actually, see, it looks like 5 one side and 5 on the other. So despite falling off this middle portion, fight going down, all of Blue's units, or a lot of Blue's units dying again. Those ferrets kind of left in the background trying to fire away what they can. Again, one more getting taken down. But despite walling off this center portion, all the players have an equal number of bases. There's this one base in the southeast that's still kind of left alone. That's going to be contested and hard for either player to grab because of its location. Be taken out by ferrets or taken out by the massive yellow and green army here if blue and red decide to try and take it. But walling off, there's a lot of food sunk into that wall there, and I think what it's going to come down to is those early attacks that went so heavily in the favor of Shufai Pai and True Administrator. I mean, look at that. You've got two double layers of barbed wire down here. You've got artillery there. You've got lots of turrets. You've got balloon snipers up. Absolutely impenetrable middle there. And I think Bagel Denizen and Mr. Yu are going to keep failing if they try and attack that middle. Shufai Pai has just built an army of chameleons. 7 of them out on the field right now, and he's bringing them around. Let's see if he can melt some of Mr. Yu's army. for some Mr. U's bases. Some of them are still alive. Those lizards, again, as long as Shufai holds down to them moving, those chameleons will remain cloaked. So backing off for now. That's very dangerous. Now that Mr. U and Bagel doesn't know there are chameleons out of the field, they can melt a base really quickly. Attack going down from Bagel Denizen, trying to poke a little bit at those defenses with those ferrets. A lot of ferrets out on the field right now. 8 ferrets. Losing a base there to those chameleons who saw the power. It was just 1 or 2 chameleons going down, though. Only 1 is left alive. So while Bagel Denizen has lost a base, chameleon threat. Using almost all of his ferrets now to these falcons. Devastating. It's the only thing the administrator can now push out a massive wall. They have that down, and they're going to push through and bases of Bagel Denizen and Mr. U. I think preventing this. I think this is going to be the end of the game here, unless something drastic happens in the next few moments. Defensive structures. 0 farms for Bagel Denizen, 6 farms for Mr. U up in that north section there. And 5 and 2 administrator on 13 still. And I think Bagel Denizen is very, very close to being out of this game entirely. If they lose this game, there will be another game after that. Shipakai and True Administrator down. We'll go to game here. Denizen out of the game now. It's down to Mr. U. And there's just nothing that he can do from this point. True Administrator on 14 farm, Shu on 5. To Mr. U's Paul. He's only got 6. Lots of blizzards going up. There's 21 mines down on the field. Actually, there's a huge minefield right outside the base to the north here. Hopefully, I hope we get to see that go off, because that'll be amazing. You see, they might decide to just push around to the north and put that minefield all together, but True Administrators scouted at an income. One mine goes down, 2 mines go down. Those falcons just flying all the way over, though. Gonna come in and take down all of the hawks there. Use that minefield. Use the beautiful minefield. More mines going down. So many mines. In comes the army from Shufai from the south, charging in through the north. Bank of chameleons out front and just going to melt through Mr. Yu's base here. That's it. Shufai and True Administrator taking game 2 to even up the score 1-1. Jeez.
Wow.
I just want to say the timings on the side of Shufai and Shu Admin here were really good. The taking out, I think when they saw that the ferrets were trying to hammer in so hard against their wall, you see the falcons immediately come out from Shu Admin, and the ferrets can't do anything to falcons. And the falcon army can just chip away, and then once Shufai went around for the back base snipes with the chameleons, their attention got turned away just for that last second, and the falcon army just obliterated all those ferrets. And I think this map just really nice holdout for both green and yellow.
Right, recognizing that in the long game they might have more of an economic advantage to those easily reachable bases, and then building all of those structures in that massive armored column in the middle. Andy, what do you think about? I don't think we saw many snakes out from Bagel and Mr. U. Do you think that could have turned the tide?
Snakes?
Yeah.
Well, the snakes recently got a pretty massive buff, right? And there was a lot of concern that they would be in the extremely OP category because they could poison structures now. I think with the one thing to consider is while they do have the option to destroy structures, they actually dish out damage extremely slowly. Because you can only be poisoned once per unit, right? Well, like you can only have the status effect applied once to you, meaning the most that a snake can do to an individual unit is 1 DPS. So having a lot of snakes isn't going to help you much in terms of DPS, but it may help you with, helping like support fire, but not. I don't think it's going to turn the tides.
All right. Well, we are going to go into game 3 very shortly here. Shoofly Pie deciding on his last unit. I know you all can't see it on the stream right now, but Bagel Denizen and Mr. U going for... there's a wolf in there. Bagel Denizen has his ferrets again. Mr. U going for a badger this time, as well as artillery. So we'll see if the badger sees some play here. Again, badgers are a unit that winds up in terms of their machine gun. And once they're at the fastest they can fire, they're one of the fastest players in the game.
Oh boy, this starting base for Bagel and Mr. U.
Wow. Let's take a look
Both
at this
sides-
for a sec.
Both teams actually have pretty darn good starting bases. Although I'm a little concerned about Bagel Denizen's position in that he has no easy access out, so he has to build his units. He build them outside on the lower elevation outside his base, or he just commits to having his units walk all the way around.
Again, only one entrance in and out of Bagel Denizen and Mr. U's base here in the west in blue and red. So great for defending from early pressure. Meanwhile, Shoofly Pie and True Administrator in green and yellow in the east with another fairly well defendable base. So early aggression is not going to be great unless they can catch each player off guard. We'll see if the players look at that and decide to go for a long game or just kind of push through and try and take advantage of whatever they can. Again, Bagel Denizen and Mr. U have walls pretty close to their farms, so Hawks could easily shoot over those walls, take out some farms. Shoofly Pie has pigeons that could give him some high ground vision as well. And Shoofly Pie also has squirrels, which have longer range than lizards. Mines go down across the map.
And nothing too much happening, just the usual Mr. U walking around, putting down the mines on high ground, try to give himself some early warning of when the enemy's going to come and attack.
When it comes to mine use, I would want to consider that it's really easy to think about them in terms of numerical traits. So if a squirrel steps on a lizard, or sorry, steps on a mine and dies, if a squirrel steps on a mine and dies, most people will say that's an even trade because it's 20 food for the mine, 20 food for the lizard. But one thing that you have to consider is that when you're a player going against mines, it completely changes your frame of reference of how to approach the map.
Oh, there goes one mine. There goes two mines.
that one change in perspective might be all you need to actually gain an advantage, because now the person can't be as aggressive as they want to be, or they're second guessing all of their moves. So there's a huge psychological advantage to having mines.
Right.
Quick question, as this battle is now going on here between the two. Unfortunately, they're going to have to pull out there. But do mines give out vision after you plant them, or no?
It's the tile that they're in will give you vision.
So just the tile, not the... It doesn't have like a range of vision.
No.
No.
Okay.
I hear it used to, but it no longer does, as they were used for scouting. For obvious reasons, something that it destroys your units and also gives you scouting.
I mean, even if it gives just one tile of vision, I still think that's pretty darn good, especially if you put it in a place where you think an enemy will calmly walk over.
Right. I mean, when you notice that your mine is gone, it means that something happened there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
although it looks like Shoofly Pie and True Admin going for the long game again. They just put down so many structures in the middle.
Mr. U dragging his lizards around to the north here. Let's see if he's going to walk straight in the army of Shoofly Pie, as well as those lizards in the middle there. A lot of them getting taken out. 3 of them running for their life. With that expansion in the north there for Mr. U. Bagel Denizen with an expansion in the south. Bagel Denizen on 10 farms, Mr. U on 8, Shoofly Pie on 8, True Administrator on 10. So all players have expanded at this point, which is good. We're at the 3 minute and 45 second mark. Within a little more than a minute, those initial 4 farms are going to start dying off.
They're just committing for this hold here. They're just putting out all the barbed wire, all of these turrets. This is just flashback to the last game, really.
Alright, remember, whoever wins this game will move on to the semifinals. There's a lot on the line right here. One thing I noticed that Bagel Denizen and Mr. U's armies are split up, and I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. As long as Shoofly Pie and True Administrators stay together, they'll beat each army individually. But having split armies means their attentions might be split. They might get attacked from the north by blue, while they're attacking from the south here. and trying to deal with red.
This is a pretty risky expansion here on Bagel's behalf because he's pretty much enclosed in this area, and Green and Yellow both know it.
And it looks like he's going to lose this base to the south momentarily. True Administrator taking it out with those lizards. Shootfly Pie backing up with those squirrels in the back. Down it goes. And that's going to be disastrous, especially because we're at the 4-minute and 45-second mark. That unless Bagel then expands somewhere else, he's going to be at an economic disadvantage in about 10 minutes here. There he goes, expands to the north. He's going to have to get that base up and running pretty quickly. He is artillery though up now from Mr. Yu, and that's well placed to defend.
I think he needs to give that expansion to Bagel because Bagel's only running 1 mill right now.
Yeah.
And it's being farmed out very soon. Yeah, there he goes. He sells it, gives it to him.
We go, attack coming in, blue and red attacking from the north. Looks like blue has lost all of his units now. Red is the only one left with some units on the field. They do take out 1 expansion though. Green's expansion going down, True Administrator losing an expansion that had 4 farms on it, so that's a pretty good economic hit.
The frogs are doing a nice amount of damage to the army.
Yeah, that artillery picking away at those armies. And Shootfly Pie is going to take that base again. He's got a little bit more economy than True. So Shootfly Pie is going to throw down a lot of barbed wire to try and wall off this section of the map. We'll see Mr. Yu coming down here before the barbed wire is completely finished. Toads exploding left and right. He does take down a few bits of barbed wire, but a lot of it is already up now. That's going to be a slight advantage for Shootfly Pie defending here. True Administrator tries to get back on top of his economy.
I mean, he does have the resources to hold out here. This is a pretty intense battle here. Just trying to cover this north area. Neither side with the tier 3 yet, though, so nothing too game-changing yet.
All right, Mr. Yu wrapping around the north. Bagel is then trying to follow. That base does go down. A lot of the toads explode on that yellow base, which isn't a good use of toads. They really need to be in and among the main army of your enemy to try and take out as many as possible. And there we go. Shootfly Pie losing a lot of units, but True Administrator still on top. And it looks like Bagel and Mr. Yu in a lot of trouble now with a total of 9 farms. And Shootfly Pie are on 7 themselves. So actually, Bagel and Mr. Yu with a slight economic advantage. Let's see if they can advantage of it. Back up, or whether one of them's going to make a mistake here. There's a lot on the line here. Either team losing the next fight could cost them the game, and thus the tournament. 7 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock here. Beagle is starting to get out some falcons. Mr. Yu throwing down a badger. So we're going to see our first tier 3 in this match besides that artillery. True Administrator actually put up artillery of his own. Looks like it's down in the center of the map there.
And this north part is just being contended so hard right now. It actually makes me wonder if Bagel and Mr. Yu should just change the field.
A huge number of toads going down for both sides. Lots of units getting taken down. But again, yellow and green coming out on the advantage of that fight. But I agree that these players need to change up a little bit. Shootfly Pie is getting his wall up that worked so well last time even stronger. Now with sniper balloons, so those hawks are going to be in trouble if they venture anywhere near those balloons. Can those balloons take out a hawk with each shot? Falcon.
And the thing is, Shootfly Pie is coming so many resources to defend this top mill that it's the mill that keeps them being destroyed. So every time they try to rebuild it, it's 60 food wasted.
And that could definitely add up over time. Shootfly Pie is charting to expand not in that dangerous mill zone anymore. He's buying it again. He's trying to expand more into that center. So he's gone up to 10 farms. His teammates 5, and Shoes 6, and Big Venizon's 3. You see, again, that middle of the base is just so strong, and there's not really a way to sneak around that artillery cannon in the middle.
And Mr. U's trying to make sure he doesn't fall behind your farm, but those farms still take time to get up, and that still means more food for Shoofly Pie's army. And True Admin, he's actually building his economy right back up with the farm down bottom that no one seems to be taking notice of on the other side.
Attack coming in from blue and red, but the Badger goes down, and the entire army of blue and red has been wiped out, getting caught up on that barbed wire and not even taking out that sniper balloon. And a horde of yellow squirrels coming in now is going to try and punish that. I'm getting taken out by one mine. It looks like they get one warren down. That's a lot to lose for just one warren. They've got to do some more.
And Mr. U's doing his best. He basically is like the only guy with enough farm to hold up his army right now. But, you know, one by one, it's all going downhill.
Yeah, Biggleton has just lost his last farming farm, which means he's going to starve in 60 seconds if he doesn't find another base and build a farm. And there's not really many options for him. His main base is all farmed out, and the other two bases that haven't been taken yet are in green and yellow territory. And down goes Mr. U's base. Mr. U is out. So
Now,
Mr.
True Admin, he just has his own stuff back up already. His economy's back to normal. He has his army back up. Shoofly Pie just bought so much time holding up that northern area for True Admin that it just allowed him to recover from what was previously really bad for them.
Alright, and Shoofly Pie and True Administrator taking the win in this best of 3 to move on to the semifinals, where they're going to face a very difficult matchup. Excellent play on both sides, but True Administrator and Shoofly Pie coming out on top. Andy, can we take a look at the brackets real quick before we jump into this next round? Just see how things are stacking up.
The True and AV Ultimate waiting in the grand finals. Meanwhile, Lev Bones will be taking on True Flight Pie here this time.
So checking out, yep. We're seeing a lot of, I'm surprised that top bracket went 2-0 both times by different players, but still wiping the series and not even contesting is, I think, should be rare in a 2v2. You've got so many resources. It's 2 versus 1 in this round 1 of the bottom bracket. It's the first time we've seen games being contested, but we'll see if they can carry it through into this next match. Lev and Deadbones versus True Administrator and Shoofly Pie. That's going to be a very, very rough matchup.
I think the thing here to know about that last match was just like how committed they were to just attack that northern side, Bagel and Mr. U, that they sort of just lost sight of where True Admin was going. They had True Admin on really low economy. They did great damage in that first initial fight there, but then after that, they just let him just recover back really fast. And I think it just shows you can't keep committing to that one single area, especially when Shoofly Pie can afford to just sustain his army up in the north there.
Right. All right. Well, here we go into game 1 of the semifinals of Lev and Deadbones versus True Administrator and Shoofly Pie. Lev and Deadbones in green and yellow, Shoofly Pie and True Administrator in blue and red. And we're seeing different tier 1 units from Deadbones and Lev. Deadbones not taking lizards, Lev taking lizards, but having an equal spread of all tier 1 units, except I haven't seen moles in a while. Nobody's tried to push with moles early on, which we've seen be kind of effective in this early game. Do we have predictions? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was Lev's punching bag just before this match happens, and he was experimenting a lot with lizard pigeons in the early game, and they're scary actually, because the pigeons, if you get them up with the lizards at the same timing, they can do a scary amount of damage to farms.
Right. Well, here we go. Shoofly Pie and True Administrator in the northwest in red and blue, and Lev and Deadbones in the east in yellow and green. Lev sitting on his own little tower there, only one way in and out, easily defendable.
Nice gift, dude.
That was a nice gift.
Those mills on top of this in the center elevations,
He did.
If I know Lev, he'll probably aim for those mills as soon as possible. Just go for the aggressive expansion.
And of course, if they manage to take some of those mills, they block off a lot of the map. It's going to be much harder for Shoofly and True Administrator to expand in that crucial middle section. They'll be forced to go to the north to try and do what they can. It's like True Administrator and Shoofly going for some earlier warrens on 5 or 6 farms. Lev and Deadbones going a little bit more economy of the typical 7 or 8 farm warrens. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. No player's gonna rush entirely, but Shoofly and True Administrator are gonna have to take advantage of the fact they have the units out a little bit faster, as quickly as they can, because they're at a slight they will be at an economic disadvantage.
And Lev just put out 3 warrens so fast. It was actually quite a sight to see. Just put down 2 warrens immediately, just waiting a few more seconds. Put down the 3rd one, he already has 3 warrens up. It's almost instantly.
Something interesting to note here, the warren placement of Lev and Deadbones. They've got a shield of tier 1 warrens around Deadbones' base here. Perhaps for a little bit more defense. Lev smartly kind of making that chain there. So we're seeing the communication in effect. You wouldn't maybe not see that kind of play.
Both teams just trying to amass their tier 1s. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Lev putting his units on the high ground, same with True Admin on the other side of the map. I think True Admin, he's definitely wanting to aim for one of those. Okay, so Shoofly is going to grab that expansion first, it looks like. But they want to control this middle area, which they're afraid that Lev and Deadbones might take advantage of. But Lev is going for a back door here against Shoofly's farm. 3 farms taken out, and he's just going to back out immediately.
He's done the damage, he's going to back up. A few more lizards are getting taken down while he's retreating, but for the most part his army is fairly intact. I think that was an excellent trade. Farms.
And now Shoofly has to go back, has to recover his farms, and he's going to be a little bit more careful about committing some units to battles now. In the meantime, Deadbones getting that owl up really fast now.
Yeah, skipping those tier 2 warrens entirely, going straight there. I'm curious to see whether he'll use that owl as a bomb to try and get those mice out as quick as possible, or go for that more long-term strategy that we haven't seen yet from any player.
Looks like True Admin will be committing to that top expansion as well, so they feel like they need to get the farm out. They want to get the vision, take advantage of the high ground. It looks like Shoofly also putting down the barbed wire, so they're going to go with their regular strategy of just holding the center area.
And that artillery out there as well is going to be devastating on that high ground. There is an owl and pigeons out, so they're going to have some high ground vision to try and take out that artillery as quickly as possible, but getting up to it means going through lots of barbed wire and lots of turrets. If they come around the north, though, avoiding that barbed wire entirely. Mines going down all over the place, taking out a couple reinforcements, but slowly red and blue are getting pushed back. This tide of yellow slowly getting whittled down, but so many squirrels from Deadbones now. More mines exploding, and they're going to start to cut into Shoofly's economy again.
The owl bomb has been planted and explodes into some little mice here and there, but it looks like they're going to be holding out for a little bit.
Warren after Warren going down here. 3 farms again down for Shoofly. The last of these armies looks like it's going to start to get cleaned up here. Those pigeons keeping the squirrels alive as long as possible. Finally, the last few units getting taken out. And the damage total is 2 or 3 warrens. One of them was tier 2, and 4 farms for Shoofly. Again, that middle is still strong if they come at it from the south, but they need to do something to fortify that northeast section if they want to keep using this strategy.
I like how Lev just picked up the expansion up there just so that he can get some easy access over in that direction. And the commitment to the expansion that early, it's going to hurt Shoofly's economy because, again, he's down to only 5 farms. True Admin is looking like he's going to be the farming force of this team, but they have to get units up in order to defend themselves from waves of waves that Lev and Deadbones are just pumping out so fast.
Do you want to point out that Lev and Deadbones combined have about 9 farms. True Administrator and Shoefly Pie have 12. So Shoefly Pie and True Administrator a little bit ahead in terms of economy and able to getting their units back out. But again, Lev and Deadbones have all of their units out. Those tier 3 units punching through that barbed wire like it's nothing. Wolfbuff is absolutely melting through all the units. And that Owl is still alive, even is at 19 health, still popping mice out. Pie's main base is going to go down, and all these warriors are now in danger. See how far they push.
The wolf buff just looks so beautiful on this green and yellow mass here as they just slowly steamroll Shoefly Pie's side of the map.
The artillery taking a few shots, but it's just barely out of range.
It's not in a good position. It's so far aggressively forward that it doesn't do much for defense.
And actually, it looks like it's getting distracted now, taking out a couple units at the front, which have taken down all of that barbed wire in a pincer maneuver. All the reinforcements coming around from the front. That wolf buff after wolf buff coming up. And it looks like True Administrator is now out of this game 1. And Shoefly Pie is left all alone with 2 farms and 2 pieces of barbed wire. And that's all he's got.
I'm pretty sure this is game. This is...
Pretty sure.
That was that was just a good shutout from Lev and Deadbones. Like they it's like they let Shoefly Pie and True Admin just take those 2 expansions really early on. Meanwhile, Lev and Deadbones were just content with building up their army. And look at that army value grab; it just spikes up really fast, especially with the Owl coming into play.
And able to punch through that defensive line this time, not as strong as last time. And again, before the economy started to really come into play, they're able to use their built-up armies to dash the hopes of Shoefly Pie and True Administrator.
It's like, if you want to go for that turtle kind of play, you need to correctly predict what avenues the enemy is going to attack. But Shoefly and True Admin just committed to the wrong direction completely.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go into game 2 shortly. Lev and Deadbones have 1 point, and True Administrator and Shoefly Pie have 0. Remember, if True Administrator and Shoefly Pie lose the next game, they will be out of the tournament completely, and Lev and Deadbones will move up to the grand finals.
One thing that Shoefly Pie and True Admin need to address is the giant lizard ball that Deadbones and Lev build up really early on.
Definitely. Whether it's taking some more area of effect options, or that actually lizards are, I would have said falcons in any other patch, but lizards are doing pretty well against falcons now as well. So maybe the community needs to do a little bit more testing to see what's the most effective thing at taking out these giant balls of lizards.
I mean, we saw before that frogs and mines worked pretty well,
Yeah.
but I think just the placement, they're just not in the right direction. They were expecting them to try to go for the high ground expansions, but they just ignored it completely. So lesson to everyone, high ground expansion is not always appealing to take.
Yeah. Shoefly Pie and True Administrator in the east here in red and blue. Lev and Deadbones in the southwest-ish in green and yellow. Nice.
I have no idea what to make of this map. This is such a weird layout. Because you have this like mountainous mini peninsula in the middle of the map that's just blocked off on all sides.
And a river in the middle too is going to impede progress and create some choke points along those bridges. You can still walk through the water though, and it's kind of small, so that's not a huge deal, but still something to consider, especially if you're assaulting onto that high ground. You've got a few more seconds before your units start firing, getting that vision onto the high ground.
Now the question is, like, Shoefly Pie and True Admin, we've seen play these really defensive builds. I'm really wondering if they're going to decide to continue with that way, especially on this map. I think in game 1, when they were facing Bagel and Mr. Yu, we saw how important it was to take some really far off expansions where the enemy doesn't expect you to be at. So it makes me wonder if True Admin and Shoefly Pie should probably consider it, especially for this map.
Well, all players up to their
Oh.
8 farms now.
Well, Shoefly Pie is just gonna barricade that entire bridge off right away. It's like no lizard aggression. Just no. He is tired of it.
11 dead bones expanding at the same time in the west and in the south.
Oh, they read this really well. They see that they're turtling up right now and decide we can just get some units down and just immediately go for expansions to farm out.
We'll see if Shufly Pie and True Administrator continue to scout to see these expansions and sell these defensive structures to try and catch up in terms of army value. Again, it's important to, in a lot of RTSs, but especially in Tooth and Tail, to keep scouting with your commander to see what your opponent is doing. There we go. Shufly Pie in the bottom of the map has scouted that expansion. Let's see if they scout the expansion to the west, but he knows that there's an expansion out at least. We're only at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's about on time for what typical high-level players do.
Looks like they're just going to commit to just a tier 1 rush here. Shieldfly Pie just massing up a bunch of squirrels. We see True Admin with the lizards. He's also going to bring us a skunk warren as well, although that's going to take a while before it's ready.
Skunk about quarter of the way out. We'll see if it gets out before an engagement goes down. Looks like it might. Lev getting out some ferrets. He's going to start pounding away at his defenses once they're out. And that first ferret is about halfway out right now. Deadbone's content with just squirrels. Some toads here.
Lev is going for the ferrets, however. He sees the buildings on this high ground here and decides he's going to try to snipe them with the ferrets.
Alright, that second skunk is almost out for True Administrator now. 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, and True Administrator does have an expansion in the north there. And it looks like Shufly Pie is getting that expansion in the middle of the map as well. Perhaps a little bit later than Lev and Deadbones, and Lev and Deadbones are quickly running away with the economy. Deadbones has already maxed out both of his bases, and Lev will soon... well, maybe not quite. He's only got one farm there, but he has the opportunity, and now that Deadbones has a full economy, to keep pushing out.
Deadbones is up to 16 farms. Holy crap, that is so fast.
Right, artillery out there, so smartly backing off a little bit. Those ferrets are going to try and push a little bit as they can. Again, using those pigeons to get that high ground vision, pulling the ferrets back to try and keep them alive a little bit from that artillery. Remember that artillery doesn't have enough range to see at its maximum range. You need a sniper balloon next to it, or something out in front, or a commander to spot for that artillery. Otherwise, it can only see about 3 squares in front of it, and it's got a range of 6.
Both sides just committing in this river area on the right side here. Lev trying to dance his way around the edges, while True Admin and Shufly Pie trying to see if they could bait Lev into coming to attack them. I mean, it's really interesting how much of a water plays psychologically, because it's not really a wall. You just move very slowly through it.
Yeah.
But you can still walk through the water. But in the meantime, Shufly Pie just puts down more barbed wire and says, no, you're not getting through this side.
Alright, Owl out for Deadbones, perhaps going to try and start picking away at that barbed wire. Some of those lizards going in as well to help. Shufly Pie coming in to defend with a giant horde of squirrels. Looks like they're going to commit to this. Yellow and green pushing up the middle, trying to take out as much as they can. The wolf buff does go down. The owl hasn't taken any damage yet, so he needs to get out there if he wants to be effective in this fight. Or it needs to be pulled back to the background to keep making things. The wolf is out for blue and red as well, and that buff goes down afterwards, so lots of squirrels now. Skunk's also putting down some fire, so starting to eat away at those green squirrels. Deadbone's forced to back up. I think definitely green and yellow are still very far ahead in terms of both economy and army value. That fight there.
Deadbones just has food for days.
15 farms now. Again, we're at 5 minutes and 50 seconds, so the players' main bases have started farming out. First 4 bases.
And you can just see in the graph how much that Shufly Pie and True Admin lost comparatively to Lev and Deadbones. and they can still continue to push on forward. They have the economy on their side for sure. And unfortunately, Shoe Fly Ply gets sniped by the sniper balloons. A little bit unfortunate back there. Now the question is, do you think that Lev and Deadbone should go for a roundabout attack instead of trying to push this front side?
Definitely, I think this northern side of the base is completely undefended except for one turret. There's less high ground to go up as well. There's not an artillery cannon to deal with, and True Administrator's base is just kind of hanging out there. He's bringing his army over now, but it's a fully fledged base that's just kind of sitting up there. So I think continuing to try and hammer against these walls while they are continuing to win. Oh my goodness! I just watched a bunch of mines go down and take down a lot of lizards from True Administrator up in that north part of the map. That was crazy, and Deadbone's just going to put them all back down. So giant minefield there. And here they go. They're going to push around the north here, just like you were saying. Huge here about to attack.
What a great opening to just charge into the north. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many mines here. We have to back out now.
So both sides going down. Yellow and green coming down a little bit after. So they army of blue and yellow, blue and red just getting absolutely that expansion. Red expansion now down. The skunks are a little bit late to the party. They are starting to put down skunk fog, but that blue base is now completely undefended. Going down again, and this blue base is done for. And that's going to mean that blue and red have no farming bases anymore. Whereas Deadbones has 16 still, Lev has 8.
It's just scary just how well that Lev and Deadbones read what the enemy was doing at the beginning of the game. They just immediately went for the farm game to just out-farm them when they saw the defenses go up immediately. And they just amassed this giant, never-ending army. They have all the resources they could possibly have to just restock units as they fall.
This looks like the final engagement going down. The buff has gone down. Green units swarming all over the field. All the reinforcements are getting taken out by artillery, but I don't think it matters because these bases are undefended now. No units on the field for Shoot Like Pie and True Administrator. That's it. That's the game. Lev and Deadbones, or almost not quite. Pretty much. One base left to take down. And here goes. Almost down. Well, last buff comes out. They're going to take Deadbones 2-0 against True Administrator and Shoe Fly Pie. What a series.
That was just insane gameplay. I mean, just a massive army ball just coming out towards you. It's probably the most frightening thing you could probably face.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like grand finals. We're going to have Team Lev Bones versus Chew Ultima. How do you think this is going to go down?
I am worried, honestly, for Chew and AV Ultima. I know that AV Ultima, AV Ultima won the last major tournament, the Clash of Comrades tournament. So he's got a lot of skill behind him. I'm curious to see whether he's going to keep his head about him in these games, or he's going to let that go to his head. Like, you know, I've won this tournament on the best, and I've got the crown with me, the person who has the crown at the moment, which is a title that gets passed around when you defeat the player who has the crown, kind of like a king of the hill.
I mean, they could probably edge something out. I think one of the mistakes that sort of led to Lev and Deadbones just taking those victories handily was that they were kind of committed to like single playstyles, in that they love. I don't know if it's like they love to do this, but they're very committed to these turbo style gameplays. They try to shut down areas with barbed wire and just amass an army. But as I said before, the downside to that is that if you don't know where the enemy is heading to, or you can't predict it correctly, the enemy could just sidestep whatever you have, or they could just go into the farm game, which is what happened during those two games.
All right, well, we are ready to go into our grand finals, which are a best of 3 of this 2v2 faction frenzy, the very first large 2v2 tournament we've ever had for Tooth and Tail. Let us know in the comments how you think it's going so far. AV Ultima in red, DS Chew in blue. Deadbones staying with the Quartermaster, and Lev staying with Archimedes as green and yellow. Mines coming down for Deadbones, and for Chew as well.
I mean, mines are really important considering that how popular it is to just mass up tier 1s in these last few matches. You need to have some sort of high impact AoE ability in order to fend that sort of aggression off.
Right. Andy, what are your predictions from the sidelines as our analyst? Who do you think is going to win this best of 3? Are we going to see something new or just see the same balls of tier 1s?
Lev and Deadbones both have moles. Isn't that new?
That is new. Let's see if we see some mole cheese here. I really hope that happens. Of course, when I say mole cheese, I mean instead of building up farms or building up units, building as many moles as you can next to your opponent's base at the very start of the game, and using those moles to take out your opponent before they can respond.
I mean, moles in general are just a good investment to have, considering how tanky they are. They're all taking moles, okay? Everyone's taking moles in this match.
Are they thinking the same thing?
I hope so.
No, the Deadbones has the owls, and both AV Ultima and Chu going for wolves. So, but you know, every player has moles on going for their side, so this is going to be quite interesting indeed.
Yeah.
And this is a very nice flat map. This is going to be a slugfest of all sorts.
Mole-based race.
Nice...
Oh
there
my
it
gosh.
There it is.
No, I don't see any moles committed yet.
Well, they sold their farms.
I see.
Green and Yellow
Okay.
sold their farms.
Oh no, there it is! Alright, down to the map. We have 2 moles from each player building. They're gonna go for it. They're gonna go for the double mole.
Oh gosh, they're both doing it.
They're committing. There's gonna be 6 moles on the field. Very soon.
AV Ultima is like, he probably sees, he only has 4 farms, like, oh crap. We have no units to defend.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
It's too late. AV Ultima trying to throw down barbed wire as quickly as he can. DS2 trying to throw.
They're already inside.
They're already inside. It's too
They're
late.
already inside the base. Chu trying to respond with moles of his own. He's trying to put up his warrens as well. But that is just huge economic damage. AV Ultima is basically out. He can't do anything. Oh no.
Alright, looks like Shu is gonna lose 1 farm before this is over, but AV Ultima on no farms has to build a farm. Actually, AV Ultima does not have anything to sell and is going to starve out in 60.
That's it.
He's out. He's done. He's out of the game. So GG.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. You can hear the music starting. So AV Ultima is starving out right now.
The reads from Lev and Deadbones, they're just working so well together here. It's scary. It's like, hey, they saw us coming by. You want to do a mole rush? Yeah, let's do a mole rush. Sell the farm, immediately go down, build moles. Oh my gosh. AV Ultima, I think he was scouting up this area. He sees that they only have 4 farms instead of the 5 he saw earlier, and he's in mind like, oh, this is not good.
Right,
and that's it.
Yep. AV Ultima is
He's
out
gone.
and up to Chu.
Chu, the king of the Discord right now, is struggling. How does that Coldplay song go? You know,
When you try your best, you don't succeed.
He just left.
AV Ultima just left the match. He's like, nope.
Oh, he is. I'm wondering how salty he is right now.
Alright, in comes Lev and Deadbones with their attacks. Chu has just got Warrens out, trying to get out Lizard as quickly as he can.
I know that's game. He
Isn't
can't
it?
do much 2 against 1.
So game 1.
Oh,
Game
Mole
1
rush.
going to Lev and Chu.
mole rush, still a good strategy. AV Ultima is just gone from the room.
Oh man, let's see if we can get AV Ultima back in here. They do have another chance. This is the best of 3.
I crashed, but it's okay.
Oh,
Oh, did you crash?
It's-
Just
Yeah.
for the stream here, it was not a draw. Lev and Deadbones did
Oh.
take out Chu and AV, or Chu's last base. So they do take game 1.
So this is now-
double mole rush.
so now AV Ultima and Chu have to sort of commit to a warren. They can't go for like these long farm plays because they, in the back of their minds, they have to be careful that Deadbones and Lev may be doing the mole rush. But Deadbones just like, All right, we did the mole rush that game. Let's go back to our normal game.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Chew's got moles. AV Ultimate has moles. Let's see if they do it. Let's see if they do it. Chew has 4 tier 1s and mines, and then a wolf. And AV Ultima has, I guess AV Ultima's got a little bit more standard, but Chew going very T1 heavy. Here they go, out scouting. We're gonna watch this very carefully.
Oh man. All right, map placement. This is a very hilly map, I have to say.
Wow. Lots of choke points for both players.
Yeah, 11 dead bones are just isolated up in that top area. Meanwhile, Shu and AV Ultima just hugging all these water lines.
Alright, well, it looks like so far they're not going Mole Rush, unfortunately. We're going up to 7 farms right away.
There are a lot of expansions on the side of red and blue. Holy crap.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 expansions. Meanwhile, there's like 4 on the other side of the river.
Yeah, if AV Ultima and Chew can take those 2 bases that are kind of in the middle of the map and just slightly to the east of the map, they may be able to seal off the 2 entrances into their side of the map and have a lot of bases to choose from.
They're just the only entrances, really.
Right, yeah.
That entire left side is walled off. Alright, so they're just going to go for normal plays, nothing, no mole attacks. AV Ultima, though, hasn't committed to any units. He's going to go for the 8 farm. So he's going to get his units out a little bit later. Does put down the double lizards really fast, though. So he's going to get some units in time, at least.
Alright, remember, a lot on the line for Chew and AV Ultima. If they lose this game, Lev and Deadbones will be the champions of Faction Frenzy, the very first 2v2 tournament in Tooth and Tail. First units from Lev coming in to harass a little bit, but Chew and AV Ultima being very careful now, sitting their units in and among the farms to get as much defense as possible. Chew getting out pigeons, AV Ultima going for toads.
Nothing too crazy from either side. Lev was trying to attempt a lizard rush, but really couldn't get his units far enough to do much.
Nine
They're like-
out. Yep.
Now, this is going to be a very weird map for 11 Deadbones to attack onto. They have to either get a very aggressive expansion off in the corner, or they just have to rush these bases really fast. But Shu and Ultima just putting down all these units down. Shu going for the mines. So it's coming. It's looking really hard to see any avenue that 11 Deadbones can attack safely.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think their best option is to take those bases that we're suggesting AV Ultima and Chew take to kind of wall Chew and AV Ultima into their side of the map. Because they do have some expansions in the west there, for instance, that are difficult to get to. That's another way to look at this map. That there's 2 very safe expansions to the west.
Yeah, those are the expansions they could fall back onto if it ever comes to a base.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a very hard base race because just by sheer numbers alone, AV Ultima and Chew just have more expansions on their side.
And they've gone for double wolf. Both players putting down wolf warrens, and the wolves are starting to build right now. Lev and Deadbones still with their tier 1s. Lev just put down a ferret warren, so it'll be useful if they try and wall off. But again,
This could be bad because both Lev and Deadbones committed for those expansions first.
Yeah. AV Ultima's bought that base in the west there, maybe a little bit of insurance. Also bought that base in the south, so double expansion. Lev's seen that base in the south. He's probably not going to see the base in the west.
Okay, that's a really good base. If Lev or Deadbones do not scout that area often, this is actually really bad for them because now they're going to be stuck in a pincer. Just looking at the map, there's no actual way for them to cross that direction.
Alright, well the wolves are out. Almost. The red wolf is just about out. Just came out just now. 4 minutes in, we've already got 2 tier 3s out on the field. Lev has put down his tier 3 wolf warren as well. But Chew and AV Ultima are going to have to attack quickly and be careful of these minefields here. The moles are out in front, smartly trying to take down as much as they can. And the wolf buff does go down. There it is. So the attack is coming in. Those toads just in time for the armies of yellow and green to come in. Toads going down, exploding and destroying lots of yellow army. Are still up. They've lost a lot of their tier 1 shield, and they've got to pull back or they're going to die. The red wolf is down. The blue wolf, 27, chased down by those lizards. And the blue wolf is down. Let's see, it'll take a while for them to get that back up, but that was their big chance. They took out 4 farms. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though. 10 farms to 14. And Chu's just starting to build his farms now. AV Ultima has left that western expansion alone, trying to build out as many farms as he can on his base here in the south.
I think even with that farm damage, Deadbones is still pretty much okay. He still has a lot of farms going for him on his side.
Mm-hmm.
So economically, he could probably recover fast. And I want to give credit to Lev there for just putting his ferrets in the far back area behind the farm and just giving them the vision to lay down the attack. That was a good call there.
Yeah.
When they see the incoming army.
Giant green and yellow army here, backed up by a wolf. The wolf buff does go down a little bit early. We'll see if they're able to wait that buff out and then attack. Wolf is back out for red, so now is the perfect time to attack, and there it goes. Those units are buffed. The toads going in and exploding on so many units. Pincer movement by red and blue. I think this is going to be enough to defend this attack and maybe even punish if they can get up on the high ground, but no, there's still a core of green squirrels there. And the buff goes down again. So the wolf is still alive on that high ground for Lev. The units are still alive, and they're going to take down this base just like they wanted to initially.
I think once again the unit movement and placement is just really good on their side, and the wolf buff just came down at the perfect time for them just to turn that what could have been a bad fight for them, just turn it around completely.
Yeah. Wolf buff going down again for yellow, trying to take out some of those blue units attacking from the east. Red toads coming in from the side to try and blow up as much as they can, but they're just exploding on single units or double units. It's not enough for them to really pay for themselves. 8 farms for AV Ultimate and Chu with 5. Deadbone's on 9, Lev on 5 as well, so economy about equal. They've been losing so many units here in bad fights, and they're just going to keep getting hammered by this combined assault from Lev and Deadbones.
They don't have really anything to answer the ferrets with. The ferrets can just sit back and just poke at them. And neither Chu nor AV Ultimate have anything to stop the ferrets from rampaging like that.
Alright, and that's it. Lev and Deadbones have taken the series 2-0 to be your first Faction Frenzy 2v2 tournament champions. Congratulations. Andy,
I think I saw...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
What could have gone differently in that match? How could Chu and AV Ultima have performed a little bit differently to try and come back in that, do you think?
What, you asked me a question?
Yeah. What do you think Chu and AV Ultima could have done in that game a little bit differently to try and face that constant stream of Lev and Deadbones units?
Did they have proper defenses? I felt like they were depending too much on their units to defend.
Yeah, there weren't any defensive structures down that I saw. Maybe 1 or 2 bits of barbed wire. But I don't know that either player really had a lot of defensive structures to put down. They might have been deciding whether they wanted to go for an anti-mole rush and decided against it at the last minute, but definitely structures would have helped in that defense.
I think the attempt to attack Deadbones' farm was a good attempt to do so, but Lev was just in the backside, and he was just pumping away at their units with the ferrets, just doing so much damage. And when they committed so hard to just destroy as much farm as they could, they let their wolves die, and that just basically gave an opening for Lev and Deadbones just slowly push their units down that lane. Because we were talking about if Chu and Ultima could have taken those lanes earlier, they could have easily shut down any pathway that Lev and Deadbones would have tried to do.
Right. So just a summary of the play today. Lev and Deadbones taking this tournament, winning all of their games except for all of the games 2-0.
All of their games.
Yeah. Dominant performance, as was predicted. I think it was awesome to see all these teams communicating with each other. We saw a lot more coordinated play, which we haven't seen a lot, of course, in those 1v1 tournaments. But definitely seeing how players decide to approach having twice the economy, having twice the number of units available. And I think we really started to see some strategies come out. Although there was a lot of tier 1 masses of units.
Oh, I also want to say it does seem pretty clear to me that I will have to do some changes to tier 1. So I'm going to do that now so you guys have something to test over the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about it in Discord real quick, so you should all, or you could even talk to me here since I have everyone's attention. Let's pull up what I think is what we should do. So here's the game. So the first thing I want to do is probably take a damage off of Lizard. I also want to add like 5 HP to Chameleons. So one of the things that I've been striving to do for the character design is to give characters a 2-role function. So as you play that character, you're constantly balancing 2 choices. So for example, we don't do this with everyone with great effect, but for example, the owl, you could use it to build units to passively add army value to your army, or you could suicide it and get a huge burst of army value in your army. There's another one. Like the snakes, for example, you can use them to tag buildings, but tagging buildings will often cause your snakes to take pretty considerable damage because it doesn't outrange any defensive structures. Or you could use the snakes themselves to just attack units instead. And then with pigeons, you can use it to provide vision, or you can use it to stay in the back and heal your army from a safe distance. So I like those kind of choices with your units because it gives you multi-varied gameplay. One of the things that I want to do with Chameleon, or I'm thinking about doing with Chameleon, is they certainly succeed at backdooring. So having a bunch of them sneak into someone's base undetected and then coming out of nowhere and destroying stuff. That's definitely one of the goals of the Chameleon. But we also like this gameplay where, on a psychological level, your enemy doesn't have all of the knowledge of what your army value is until you reveal it. So what you could do is, if you weren't interested in backdoor Chameleon, using Chameleons as a backdoor unit, you could use them to supplement your army in a way that would cause the enemy to engage in overestimating their army advantage. So if I had 4 additional Chameleons in my army and I kept them hidden, and I convinced you that your army was therefore 240 food more powerful, you might commit to fighting to my army, only to then realize that my Chameleons actually give me the advantage that I need to win. And I want to have that sort of engagement as well. Pathing buff toads would help them a lot in fights. Yeah, we have to fix the pathing. So I can describe to you what the pathing bug is right now. Oops, let me just load up. So here's MS Paint. Here is how the game looks now. So what we have here is, if you are trying to get from this spot to this spot, logic would tell you that the shortest distance between 2 areas is actually this, like that. But you can't do that because we're on a grid system in which everyone knows our grid lines are like this, right? So you can't cross diagonal tiles. So what you would have to do is, what should happen is they should path tiles sort of like in this manner to try to get to those 2 distances. Now, if you were to actually do the math, let's say I took this triangle here that I just erased, and then I flipped it so it was like that instead. Same with this. Oops. Same with this and this. It's actually the same amount of distance. So the game doesn't actually realize that one path is shorter than the other. Because it's not. Like they're still equal distance, and you could still you could flip this tile again like that, right? So what ends up happening is toads will travel like this because it's the same mathematical distance as doing this crap. And that really sucks because if there's a cliff right here and there's a machine gun right here, like shooting down, it'll kill all your units. Even though you're telling it basically to kind of go straight like this. So that's what Xeno means by L-shaped pathing. We're aware of this. It's not the game's fault. The game doesn't even know that there's an optimal pathing there. So it's going to take some coding to make it kind of figure out how to do that. But we're aware this is a problem. We're really, really aware of this problem, and hopefully that'll be fixed. Hey Valently, I'm not the programmer, so your tips will be best served given to Andy Shots. Yeah, you're right. You look at the net area. So what Valently's saying is if I bucket tool this, oops, whoa, I had a hole in there. It's right there. If I bucket tool this, oh come on. Where's the hole? Oh, it's right. I see it. It's right there. That area is larger than the net area of these little squares, and so you check the distance, and then you calculate the area. Yeah, Xeno. Pathfinding is probably from the CPU side one of the most intensive computations that we have. And it's why when you have large battles that the game slogs down to 10 FPS, it's not actually because there's a bunch of units or graphics on the screen. The GPU is not bottlenecked. It's the CPU, and it's because it's calculating how 30 units on one side are trying to path and target 30 units on the other side. And so if we do this, where every pathfind check has to then do an area check, it might worsen performance by double. It's pretty challenging. It's really hard. And yes, to prove how very hard it is, I can even pull up, I can even pull up you can see. What are these waifus? What is this video? It's like an RTS with waifus. Okay. Hold on. There's yeah, it's been something that's plagued RTSs for years, because it's seriously, there's so much crap you have to consider. Look how bad this is. That's like trying to get on the freeway at rush hour. Day 9 left Armada? No way.
Oh yeah, that happened I think a week or two ago.
Oh my god.
So it's interesting that you're talking about pathfinding right now, because that was actually the reason he left Armada.
Why?
He was campaigning that Guardians of Atlas to use a pathfinding algorithm very similar to Brood Wars, where it's very micro-intensive and it's kind of wonky at times, but it sort of favors this sort of individual unit control type of play. But the devs actually, towards the end of development, towards this open alpha, they decided to instead go for the StarCraft 2 style micro, which tended to favor Deathball style of microing. So Day 9 just did not like that and just decided to leave because of
wow, he just rage quit the
pretty
project?
Much. And then I think shortly after he put out a video about pathfinding in Brood War too. So
Oh, I'd love to watch that. The one thing that's interesting, because that means Day 9 will most certainly hate our game, because our game is deathball-y, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well I mean it's just the nature of the control scheme that deathballing is going to be a thing, because there's no individual control of units, just a group of unit control. But I think that fits because the control scheme is pretty simplistic, so deathball is a fine trade-off for that kind of thing, I think.
It's one word. Death balls are lame in a game that's known for complex micro, but a game
Yeah,
that's designed around balancing death balls might not be so bad.
yeah,
Because it's like our game is fundamentally about death ball management.
pretty much. I would say that. I would say that, yeah. Especially since there's no way to like individually control a unit. But yeah, go check out Day Nine's video on it. I think it's on his channel or on his stream. It's one of those two areas.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good watch, I'd
Yeah,
say.
I'd love to watch that. For all intents and purposes, some like Dead Bones sold me to like hire Day Nine. He, uh, I can only imagine that he's like out of our budget because he's kind of expensive. He's kind of famous, isn't? He's like super famous. And I'm like a poor man's Day Nine though. I'm like day 7.
That's good enough.
Yeah, because I do like the game analysis of real time strategy, and I also do moderate like commentary to some degree. He does professional commentaries. I'm definitely just the poor man's Day Nine.
Yeah, and he especially favors the microwing of Brood War over SE2. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to just ask him, just send him this game and see what he thinks of it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'd love for his feedback and his opinion too, because he does Day Nine's Day Off where he plays other people's games.
Yeah.
So oh yeah, so what I was gonna talk about? Oh okay, so we're having a balanced discussion right now. So yeah, so I think the damage is too much on the lizards, but one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, if I do 210 lizards and 210 squirrels, then the only differentiating factor between the two of those units is their tag, speed versus range. And that's not an interesting difference. I find that while it makes balance challenging, if not impossible, I do like Blizzard's approach of trying to have units on far ends of the spectrum in terms of their character. So we already kind of screwed with this too much by giving lizards range, but I want them to feel characteristically different and have characteristically different functions, not just be a math problem kind of thing. And so it would be nice if I could find a way to like make lizards do more damage than squirrels and squirrels have more health. Would that ruin everything if I did like 310 squirrels and then 215 lizards? Would that ruin the game? Campfog, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hello. Okay. Oh, you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
So 215 lizards. I mean, if you sort of trade off the attack, and you have 310 squirrels, right?
Yes.
It'd
Yes.
still be 310 squirrels. So a lizard would take about 5 hits, whereas squirrels would take about 5 hits too. That's actually pretty balanced. Interestingly enough.
And then I would have to basically buff everything else to live because it just T1's everything. Like everything's
Yeah.
gonna be...
Yeah, you definitely need to buff the HP of other units too if lizards are going to go 5 HP higher. But it does mean like it does give squirrels and lizards that interesting tie and hits to kill.
Yeah, I have to give HP to everything, basically.
Something to think about is that the squirrels are still going to have the first shot because they have 4 range instead of the lizards 2. And I think I'm seeing us get back to where tier 1s were back in March when I first came in, where they were super strong. I don't know if giving every other unit health is going to help with that. But I don't know whether we're eventually just going to end up back where we started, you know?
What is so Shufai asks what the identity of lizards are. I'd like them to be a flanking unit. They're certainly used for flanking. I'd like them to play as a more aggressive unit than lizards or squirrels. Squirrels, I'd rather be more defensive and more generic for squirrels.
Would it make sense in that case to lower lizards' health and give them more attack? So they're more of like a gamble. Like you go in, you got to be careful with them.
Yeah, pretty much. I imagine the player who plays lizards to actually be like the guy who likes to do Zergling micro. Yeah, Valently's saying don't change things yet. It's only been a day.
Yeah.
And that was also 2v2. But the pigs, I think, do need more health.
Hmm.
So I can
Pigs
get.
need more health.
Well, how in 2v2 they need more health, but yeah, I mean Deadbones didn't pick lizards. Deadbones did do squirrel, mole, or squirrel, toad, and one. So it might not be so bad, but everything was gonna need a little bit more health, I think.
Well, I think it was also because Lev went well. So you have Lev on the front line with the lizards, and so Deadbuds could just use the squirrels to sit back and do damage while the lizards were taking most of the hits.
Okay, so I guess for and then the other thing is, are moles really shitty now?
No, moles are. I think moles are a pretty good spot right now. I'd say because they're from the games I've been watching. They've been used for two things: either that really cheesy mole rush in the beginning that we saw work, or you use them to soak up damage, which actually works pretty darn well.
I think if they had any more health, then we'd see a lot of like mole dumps across the field, and that doesn't feel fun to play against, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think right now moles are in an okay spot, especially with the damage output of lizards and squirrels at the moment.
Oh, Xeno's actually suggesting damage up on mole on pig.
On pig, I'd be fine with that. It gives them more defense other than HP buffing them.
Yeah.
Because it'll still take them a while to take out a single lizard, anyways.
Yeah, I can do that. Just extra damage on them. But toads will still one-shot them. But I think that's okay, because one toad can at most only take out one pig anyway.
That's still value because a farm is 60 anyways. So
yeah,
that's a 1-for-1 trade, which is pretty darn good.
Okay, so let me go jump straight onto that. I'm gonna post some final number estimations in Discord, and then I'll set it live in like 15 minutes.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
All right. See you then.
Nice. Pleasure casting, and hopefully
and I'm
we'll
signing
see
off.
more exciting
Stream,
stuff in the future.
guys. Bye all.